personal toilet.
But sinks, toilets, and showers.
Elements of bathrooms.
10 times, 15 times.
Elements of bathrooms.
We're looking very strongly at sinks and showers.
Elements of bathrooms.
10 times, 15 times.
Elements of bathrooms.
What on earth is going on with Trump and toilets? Trump's White House toilet would be clogged with documents that Donald Trump was flushing down the toilet. Is this the explanation? Is this the explanation?
Big massive dumps.
Elements of bathrooms.
10 times, 15
Trump was doing this with his personal toilet.
Elements of bathrooms.
and showers.
Big massive dumps.
Elements of bathrooms. Duty.
10 times, 15 times. Not me,
Elements of bathrooms.
God bless the United States. Thank you very much.
Elements of bathrooms. Look at those eyes, man. That dude is gone, ladies and gentlemen.
Alex Jones is now very, very upset with me.
Look at that. That is a frickin' predator right there. Who thinks he's smarter than you, thinks he's better than you, and he's gonna beat you. Pac-Man never talked to the New World Order, because Pac-Man's a loser. Pac-Man's a loser. He's not a knight at the round table.
That's true. I'm not a knight at the round. That actually is accurate.
That dude is gone, ladies and gentlemen. Pac-Man. If I was telling my children who not to be, it's Pac-Man. Man's a loser. Smarter than you, thinks he's better than you, and he's gonna beat you. The evil's growing, it's coming. What you asked for is now at the door, scratching. So open the door and prepare to meet your destiny. Pac-Man's a loser. Man's a loser. That is a frickin' predator right there. Who thinks he's smarter than you, thinks he's better than you, and he's gonna beat you.
Uh-oh. Mangoes?
My bag of mangoes.
Uh-oh.
I love mangoes too.
9 cents. Okay. Now that we are up under Biden's regime, my bag of mangoes now costs $11.99.
That seems like a pretty good deal. A bag of mangoes? Aren't mangoes like $3 each? That's it. I want what, $8 or $11? That sounds good.
The American people will lie. And highway robbery is what you're doing. Bring my mangoes back down. My bag of mangoes. My bag of mangoes.
Mangoes?
My bag of mangoes. Bring my mangoes back down. Raise the price of fruit. Don't raise the price of fruit. Don't raise the price of fruit. Bring my mangoes back down.
The Wisconsin crowd identified with the mangoes.
Disproportionately affected the American people. Those who want me to be healthy. Those who want me to be healthy. It's highway robbery is what you're doing. Don't raise the price of fruit. Don't raise the price of fruit. Don't raise the price of fruit. Don't raise the price of
Mangoes? Well, it's stream number 2 today. I've changed my shirt, I've showered, and we are here once again awaiting failed former President Donald Trump in Waukesha, Wisconsin, scheduled to speak in 20 minutes, which means he will speak somewhere between 20 and 200 minutes from now. Donald Trump notoriously late. Right Side Broadcasting is, of course, covering it. Newsmax is indeed covering it as well, as you can see in the lower right of the screen. Donald Trump Save America Rally Wisconsin soon. But for now, they have the great Dick Morris on. By the way, the one time I interviewed Dick Morris, he hung up on me when I very, very lightly pressed him about some of the nonsense he was saying, and he just hung up the phone on me. That's on YouTube, and you can check that out if you would like. And of course, today was day 2 of CPAC. It was as unhinged as ever. We will have full coverage on Monday. By the way, I hope that you're subscribed to my free podcast where we do an hour episode every single day. And then even beyond that, for our members, we do the bonus show.
Oh, the bonus show where you want to make money, but everybody else that makes money to fund themselves is bad.
Well, Alex, it sounds like you're going to have a money problem very, very soon. Here is, let's see where I can find it. Here is the video of the award being read today in the Alex Jones defamation trial. Folks, it is 45.2 million dollars. Check this out.
Number 1, 4,200,000.
Oh, I can't even hear anything. Let me use my volume booster to crank this up for you guys. I have enough respect to have proper audio.
Number 1, $4,200,000.
Whoa.
Question number 2, $20,500,000.
Wow.
Question number 3, $20,500,000.
Ooh. That's a lot of supplements.
All right. This question is
The plaintiff's attorney going to be laughing all the way to the bank. Now, as many of you know, it's not just what you can be awarded, it's what you can collect. So we'll deal with that aspect of this a little bit later, but very, very powerful stuff happening there. And not going so well there for Alex Jones.
Pac-Man's a loser.
Well, focus on yourself, Alex. Don't worry about me.
That is a frickin' predator right there.
Nothing predatory here. Nothing predatory here. Okay, sometimes I tell you about the insanity that I deal with on a regular basis. Emails, tweets, all this stuff. Here's like just the epitome of the low information stuff that I deal with. I spotted this chat message here from a user named Data, who said, wow, had to subscribe to chat. That's commie as hell. And the rally isn't showing, so must be a liar. No, the stream hadn't started yet. That's all. And yes, as an absolute bare minimum spam prevention technique, yes, if you want to chat on Twitch or YouTube, you have to be following us on Twitch or subscribed on YouTube. It's free. It's really not a big deal, okay? And if it's so offensive, just go somewhere else. Please. Please. Yeah, all right. Anyway, I'm so glad that everybody's here. And this is stream number 2 of the day, stream number 3 in 2 days, and potentially tomorrow there will be another stream. If we fill this bar up with website members and Twitch subscribers and gifted YouTube subscriptions to 100, tomorrow I will stream the Trump CPAC speech, and it will be a shocking and appalling night of insanity. All right, I do have the clip. Yeah, let's close the loop on the Alex Jones stuff. Within moments of the Alex Jones verdict, Roger Stone went on who the hell even knows where, right? I mean, it's like, I guess this is on InfoWars. And Roger Stone started begging for money for Alex Jones. Look at this.
Alex Jones is a good and decent man. He's a God-fearing Christian. He's done more for this movement than perhaps anyone you can name.
What movement?
And right now, he needs our support. There's a place at the InfoWars store where you can go just to make a contribution if you're not in the market for a book or one of his great products.
Yeah, I don't know what the market for books looks like, but I don't know that Trump supporters, Stone supporters, and InfoWars fans are necessarily in the market for books and reading.
There's a link where you can just send a...
Yeah, okay. So anyway, there's Roger Stone begging for money for Alex Jones to pay his $45.2 million settlement. You hate to see it. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. All right, let me say some thank yous. People are dumping in subscriptions on Twitch. I want to say thank you to Bobby Shamariv, Zero Cool, Lily, Beth Graham, and Mariposebe. That is 6, putting us at 6. Also want to say thanks to some great people gifting subscriptions on my website. Desiree DeLong, Kevin Gouldy, Lisa Rader, Joe Rader, and Jason Sickmeyer. Very much appreciate all of you. That puts us at 11. Super Chat's starting to come in. S. Prez just spent $50 to get the words bowel movements up on the screen. Isn't the internet an incredible place? Someone just spent $50 so that I would say the words bowel movements and they would display on the screen. It's really an incredible place, this internet that exists. All right, let's look at a couple of other things as we stand by for the failed former President Donald Trump. Let's see how Newsmax is pitching it.
All right, welcome back. Rob Schmidt. Still technically my show, but we're warming you up for this big Trump rally tonight in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So ostensibly, it was a great day for Team Biden today, right? I'm sure you saw the headline pop up. Our economy added 528,000 jobs.
Oh, let's see how they tear it down.
It was more than double the 250,000 that economists were expecting.
True.
It's the kind of day Biden dreams about because he can't do anything right. Sounds like a great number, but there's something you should know.
Tell us.
That is, it is all a mirage. While we added 528,000 jobs in July, there were 136,000 fewer people participating in the total workforce in May. So how is that possible? Well, it appears fewer people are working just one full-time job. More Americans now have multiple jobs, including part-time jobs.
Republicans used to say that that was good. This is what, I respect, in all seriousness, I don't play games with gas prices. I don't play games with debt and deficit, and I don't play games with jobs numbers. I respect all of you too much to do this crap. These talking points are the exact talking points that they used before, reversed, to talk about how great the economy was. They would say, you know what's great about this economy? It's the freedom to have one job or two jobs or three jobs, if that's what you want. The truth about this has nothing to do with Joe Biden. We are in a phase where more people are retiring. As a result, this is a reality about the labor force participation rate. Baby boomers are retiring. That's just a thing. Also, the population continues to grow in the United States. So at almost any point, you can accurately say there's more people than ever working right now. And there's more people than ever not working right now. Both can be true because the population keeps going up. These are pond scum, trash talking points that are beneath every single one of you, except maybe the guy who said the thing about communism. Okay? So anyway, we're going to get off. It's unbelievable. Now, if you want to see a hostage video, I love this. Check this out. Maria Bartiromo this morning, she had, I guess she does a business show, so it would be weird if she doesn't talk about the jobs report. She looked like she was doing a forced hostage video. I don't know if you've seen that famous video where a POW, a prisoner of war, is saying that he's being treated well, but he's blinking Morse code for hostage. It's like this. Maria Bartiromo seemingly unable not to give the report, but she doesn't like it.
Headline here, this is a blockbuster report. This is much higher than anybody was expecting. 528,000 jobs created in the month of July is more than double the expectations, which called for job growth of 250,000. All areas of the economy actually saw job growth, including leisure, hospitality, the services industry, the industrial industry. That's all good.
How is this a problem for Joe Biden is what I want to know.
Good news. The bad news. This ensures that we are going to see a Federal Reserve that stays as aggressive as ever.
The Federal Reserve will react to the blockbuster job numbers by doing what the Federal Reserve does when the jobs market is very good. This is a big, big problem. Yeah, I know people are joking in the chat. Is the jobs report too good? That was what they did a month ago. They said, is there so much work that it doesn't leave enough dry powder for the economy? It was crazy. Crazy.
The markets right now are pricing in a 65% chance that the Federal Reserve raises interest rates by.
And the market was flat today. Like the market priced in. I'll show you. Look at this. Whoops. Finance Yahoo. Oh, God. Check this out. The market priced in this disastrous inevitability by having the S&P down 1/10 of a point, the Dow up 1/4 point, and the NASDAQ down 1/2 a point. Disturbing reaction from the market, pricing in this unbelievably disastrous upcoming thing with less than a 1/2 point move in either direction. That doesn't sound that bad, actually.
By another 75 basis points in the next meeting, which is in September. We are waiting for the Jackson Hole event, which is where Federal Reserve officials gather. That will be newsworthy in the coming weeks to find out how the Fed will deal with a jobs market that is still generating growth and jobs. Now the bad news.
How are we going to... I thought it was all bad news, Maria. What do you mean now the bad news?
Bad news is that the Federal Reserve will continue raising interest rates aggressively. That's going to make our borrowing much more expensive and holding debt much more expensive.
It's like, yes, that's how the economy works. That's the role of the Federal Reserve. These people are, and again, the reason they can get away with this stuff is because of who's watching Maria Bartiromo, if you want to learn anything about finance. You know what I mean? Unbelievable stuff. Johnny Minogue says via Super Chat, I experienced supreme schadenfreude when I saw the Alex Jones punitive judgment. Can't wait for the InfoWars fire sale. Yeah, if you're looking, what's that thing he sells? The silver, what's the silver liquid he sells? Anyway, if you're looking for a cut rate deal on the silver, drinkable silver, it may be upcoming. Lily of the Valley says we're living in the upside down. Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to say thank you to Butch AF Clown for Life as well for the Twitch Prime subscriptions. Folks, you can sign up for memberships at joinpacman.com. Ben Keefe just did exactly that and is new member number 14 today. Also, big thank you to Jason Sickmeyer, Trevor Davis, and our friend Juan for gifting subscriptions on the website joinpacman.com, putting us at 17. The target is 100. If we get there, I will stream again tomorrow. I will take a weekend day off. I will take a weekend day on. I will take off an off day. I don't know the right way to explain it. Anyway, I would work tomorrow and we would stream the Trump CPAC closing speech if we get to 100. And I will not be taking any colloidal silver during any of these streams. That I won't tease for you. Okay? Sir, I stole Obama for my notification tone, so here's $5 to compensate. Also, my 33rd birthday is this weekend. Can I get a shout out? You rock. Absolutely, Danny. Here's a shout out. Obama. Congratulations. David, sir, it's shocking that an EU leader like Orban would go to CPAC to spout Trumpian catchphrases, all the while embracing praise from Putin. I know. It was downright dystopian yesterday. It really was. And I mentioned this on the earlier stream because this is the second stream of the day. On the earlier stream, I mentioned that the biggest applause lines at CPAC this year are transphobic and homophobic lines, essentially. That's what's getting the most. And then authoritarian tirades would be next after that. And there was no shortage of authoritarian tirades from Viktor Orban. Let's do a couple voicemails only because I just haven't had a chance to play any voicemails. It's been so busy. Did anyone catch that? I don't know what that person was saying. That's weird. All right, let's see if we can find a voicemail that is substantive in some way.
Hi, David. This is about Alex Jones's trial. So I'm watching a Watch Mojo video about 10 disturbing interviews with killers, and one of them is like Charles Manson. From what I understand, Charles Manson may have killed one person, but what he's more famous for is this cult that would terrorize Hollywood.
Okay, that's not exactly what... So, oh my God. I just read an entire book about Charles Manson by Jeff Gwynne. Really good book. I recommend it. This is not even the proper framing of what Charles Manson did. I'm going to move on. I don't want to have to correct so many different things. So let's move on a little bit.
Hello. 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 Yeah, hello. Yeah. I'm fine.
Oof. That's the stuff of nightmares. That is the stuff of nightmares. Let's see what else we've got today.
David, sir, I just received an email from your attorneys. It's a 300 gigabyte file containing information about the illegal activity that happens during your bonus show. You have anything to say about that? Thanks, David. Bye.
Well, I'm not a tech guy, like Alex Jones said. I really couldn't tell you anything about that. But it means I was telling you the truth. I'm going to have to fire my attorneys. That's for damn sure. Let me see what else I've got for you. Let's see what we have. Actually, don't have that much that's interesting here for you necessarily. Oh, let's hear this one's from Juan. Juan gifts memberships regularly, and occasionally he has some interesting questions.
Hey, David, it's Juan here. I'm having a hard time evaluating what's right, wrong, ethical, unethical, etc. when it comes to the politics in the United States. The only conclusion that I could come up with for myself is to really evaluate what my views are, to really think through what I think is right and wrong, because basically what I'm trying to say is I can't base my decisions on subjects, policies, etc. on what most people think.
Okay, Juan, we love you. We love the gifted memberships. That one I'm going to have to move on from. And in fact, I think I'm going to have to move on from voicemails because we're hemorrhaging audience all of a sudden. Thank you to Texas Bear Claw for the Twitch Prime subscription. You're number 18. Also, a huge thank you to Katie Welsh and Dana Aguilar, who just signed up at joinpacman.com, putting us at 20. And then lastly, a beautifully gifted membership from Martin Fillion has come in, and that puts us at 21. All right, let's continue with some of the other things I have here. I don't know how many of you saw this, and we're going to really need to crank the audio level here. Mike Pillow spoke earlier today, and he is once again unleashing a tirade against machines.
We're doing a class action lawsuit against all machines.
Check out what Pillow had to say earlier today.
And this is very important you hear me on this. Over 54 countries have now been taken by the machines or are getting taken.
They've been taken. It's like when what was the name of the bad Terminator in Terminator 2? What, like a T-1000, or what was the name of the thing? What was you guys know what I'm talking about, right? What was the name of the T? What was the model of the Terminator 2 machines? The T-1000. 54. It sounds almost like he's saying there's been like cyborgs that have taken. The countries have been taken. That is something else.
And this is very important you hear me on this. Over 54 countries have now been taken by the machines or are getting taken by the machines.
This guy is a comedic genius. It's really something else.
And you never get to go back. Venezuela, Australia, they're gone.
These countries are over thanks to the machines.
We're doing a class action lawsuit against all machines. Don't get to vote out the machines once they're there. Once they're there, you don't get your country back.
Right. The machines are not subject to democracy. Small Fuzzy Moss, you got to grab that for the soundboard. That is unbelievable. Yeah, Beyond Parody is right. This guy is a comedic genius, despite himself. I mean, it's he's not trying to be funny. That is an unbelievable clip. S. Prez just gifted 50 subscriptions on Twitch, pushing us all the way up to 71. S. Prez, thank you. By the way, this might be a good moment to say thanks to Skittle Stew, who is the #1 all-time gifter with 595 gifted subscriptions on Twitch. And that is an incredible number. Thanks also to Andy Herr, who is new member number 72 today. Hey, David, it's Tyler from Indiana. I recently called asking for your opinion on if a Trump-DeSantis ticket would be possible. I don't think so. Trump's furious with DeSantis because DeSantis won't just rule out running if Trump is running. Trump wants DeSantis to say, if Trump wants it, it's Trump's. And DeSantis hasn't been willing to say that, partially because DeSantis actually has a shot at beating Trump in the primary in 24. So I can't imagine there's going to be a Trump-DeSantis ticket. I don't see that at all, as even remotely likely. Open to hearing other opinions from people in the audience, but I just don't. I just don't see that. Let's look at a couple of other things. Here's another Herschel Walker clip. I am really quite taken, in a sense, with Herschel Walker from the standpoint of negative, in that he cannot speak. He cannot explain his position on anything. And yet, Republicans easily made him the winner of the Georgia Senate primary. The thing that's going on now is he has sort of tricked some in the media into thinking he plans to debate Raphael Warnock. And every time you hear him explain something about the debate, it becomes clearer and clearer to me that he has no interest in debating whatsoever. And here's another explanation that is completely unintelligible.
November.
Are you going to debate him?
Well, I've called him on 2 debates.
He's called him on 2 debates. Okay.
I've called him on 2 debates. He turned me down on both of them because I said, what I want to do is see a fair and equitable debate where it's for the people, not
a fair and equitable debate for the people. What does that mean? Like, for his fans? I mean, he's a politician. He's not playing football anymore.
Not about some press, not about some party, but the people get a chance to see the differences between my opponent and myself, where my opponent believed in raising taxes during a recession.
Right, but the question was, are you going to debate? What does it matter what his position is on taxes?
My opponent believed being soft on crime. He voted with Joe Biden to elect officials that is soft on crime. My opponent believed that he voted that put men in women's sports where I do.
He voted that put men in women's sports. Whatever. The question was, do you plan to debate?
Not think men should be in women's sports. So there's a big difference in contrast. I think he's afraid to stand in front of the Georgia voters and stand up for the record that he's voting on.
That's a genius move. I have to say, it's like Herschel Walker's the guy who won't debate. And he's saying he thinks his opponent's afraid to debate. And what's genius about it is, obviously, Herschel Walker should not be allowed by his handlers to debate. Like, his handlers should be going, you don't want to debate. You can't put together a single coherent thought. But a Trumpian move is just accuse your opponent of being afraid to debate. And even if you're the one declining the debates, say it's your opponent. Just insist that it's your opponent. In a sense, it's genius because it's exactly the constituency that would fall for it. People, his followers would hear that and they go, Raphael Warnock won't debate. Warnock won't show up and debate Walker. What are you talking about? Yeah, I heard it from Herschel himself. He's not going to show up. All right, people asking when the rally starts. It was scheduled for 5 minutes ago. So hopefully it starts very, very soon. Let's take a listen to what's happening in Wisconsin.
Let's go ahead and toss to a commercial break if we can at Master Control.
No.
At Master Control, we'll go ahead and toss. Oh. Let's go ahead and toss to a commercial break if we can real quickly. We're going to get some things situated on the ground. You're watching live coverage.
All right, so they're tossing. So we'll go back over here and stand by. Guys, this venue is packed. Look at this crowd. This could be, I think I see 60,000 people there. This has got to be the biggest crowd. I mean, ever, maybe. Okay, Super Chats. Can I get 3 Obama's back to back? All right, I guess so.
Obama. Obama.
There you go. Hope that did it for you. I want to say thanks to Trella Whitford, who just signed up at joinpacman.com, and Martin Fillion for gifting a subscription. That puts us at 74. Also, a big thank you to Multibeast and Blueberry Babe for the Twitch subscriptions, putting us at 76. Let's keep going. I've got much more material here. Here's something interesting. Here's Elon Musk saying something that I can actually very much agree with. Listen to this.
You know, if the president's working so hard to sort of free someone who's in jail in Russia for some weed, then shouldn't we free people
That's what Joe
in America?
just said. I saw that.
Who, yeah,
absolutely. Joe Rogan said
there
that,
are people in jail in America
for the same shit,
for the same stuff. Shouldn't we free them too? It seems like
this is something that's legal in so many states right now, as well. It's not
I think it's like it's not. I mean, my opinion is that people should not be in jail for nonviolent drug crimes.
There you go. All right. So Elon Musk making a lot of sense. Hard to disagree with that. Let's listen to Mike Pillow's new ad.
Plus, it's certified organic and non-GMO. I guarantee it'll be the best coffee you've ever had. So go to mystore.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code and you'll get my coffee for 25% off. And I'm going to give you deep discounts on all my store products. That's mystore.com. It's my new platform for USA entrepreneurs. Please order now.
Okay. Wow. And the ad seems to have frozen. Uh-oh. Massive technical difficulties on Right Side Broadcasting. Look at this. It's completely frozen. Yeah, and it's not just making sure it's not my connection. Look at that. Completely and totally frozen now. Folks, I want to say thank you to S. Prez for gifting another 50 subscriptions on Twitch. Also, thank you to Jen here and Alice for gifting 2 more, putting us at 128. Folks, let's go for 150. I know we can do it. Thanks to Deb Patterson for signing up on my website, joinpacman.com. I absolutely love it. We are moments away from what will no doubt be a completely dangerous and unhinged Trump rally in Waukesha, Wisconsin. It is criminal what we are going to see tonight. That I can almost assure you. Almost assure you. The machines thing is scary. My tractor is on the warpath and headed for the front porch. Save me. Uh-oh. The machines have taken over at Sherry's house. That's dangerous. I don't like uncharged pickles in my sandwiches. Do you? I kind of prefer jalapeno slices, to be perfectly frank. Terminator Part 25, Rage Against the Machine, starring Mike Pillow. Well said. Very, very much well said. I think that's perfectly accurate. All right, let's keep going. I have so many different things for folks here. We did this. Let's see what other clips we have from the day, from CPAC, and from different things that are going on. Let's see. Oh, this is pretty fun. That's very solid. That is good. I like that. Look at how different he looks without the 45 million. You can really tell that it's just a transformation. Really a transformation. That's well done. Lauren Boebert says that Pelosi's an alcoholic.
Literally, the vodka's evaporating from her skin. You see it coming out. She says she doesn't drink. I don't believe that.
So, Glenn Beck asked me that. And I said, she says often she doesn't drink, which tells me she's drunk.
Yeah, because anytime my wife's like,
home, Nancy, you're drunk.
Are you drunk? What does the drunk person say?
No.
Yeah, the police.
Whoa. The left had better be prepared for the right getting good at comedy, because they're really coming for us. It's going to be crazy. Trump attorney Christina Bobb says MAGA women are hotter than liberals. Oh, this I have to hear.
The men on the conservative side are alpha males. They drive big.
Oh, God.
Big trucks. They hunt, they fish.
The big trucks. The big truck guys. I've told this story before. I know this won't be like new ground for many of you. But as many of you know, I drive an electric vehicle. And It's much faster than any truck out there. It just is. It's not. I'm not. There's nothing special about that. It's just very fast. And I will notice often in parking lots, I'll park far from the door for two reasons. One, because I like the exercise. I always will take the stairs instead of the elevator. You should have seen me today at the pediatrician. We got there, and you've got to walk down and upstairs, or you can take elevators. And my girlfriend went to the elevator, and I said, no, we're taking the stairs. And she said, sir, are you sure? And I said, absolutely. I can get four flights in right here with carrying the baby. Okay. And also, yeah, I still see a pediatrician. Exactly. And also I park far away from the door because I do want to keep the car away from, I don't want the car getting scratched up. It's very common that I will come out and very far next to my car, there's no other cars except an internal combustion engine, vile pickup truck right next to my car, sometimes with the thin blue line sticker or whatever. And it's because the driver of that truck needs me to know their genitals are huge, absolutely huge. And that's what I think. Also, what will often happen is if I pull up to a stoplight in the electric vehicle, a truck pulls up next to me and stops at the red light, they will just peel out, leaving me in a cloud of exhaust. And then I go, wow, that guy is just so cool and alpha in every way. And then I'm like, I really need to do that, I guess, So anyway, it's funny that she's seriously saying that they drive the big trucks as if it's actually something that is good. I mean, it's crazy. I'm more interested in how quiet can my car be. Like, I find it interesting that my car makes no noise.
The men on the conservative side are alpha males.
Right. And by the way, and gas is so expensive.
They drive big trucks. They hunt, they fish, they do all that. And the women love being women. They know what a woman is. They know how to dress. They know how to act. They take care of themselves. And as a result, you have attractive women on the conservative side compared to the women who are depriving you of any opportunity to sleep with them, Brian. I know you were disappointed.
Yeah, I'm heartbroken right now, to be honest with you. You said it. I could not put it any better than you. And I'm glad you said it, not me. But to your point,
this is pretty serious political analysis here.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the, and I don't want this to sound disrespectful at all, but when you look at the conservative women in the movement right now, they're beautiful.
I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene, incredible.
Strong, they're fit, they exercise.
Carrie Lake's a great example.
Of it. And Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Okay, I didn't know he was actually going to say that in a serious way, but that is funny.
On Instagram and social media, she takes care of herself. Versus a lot of the politicians on the left look pasty, like they've never gone outside for an ounce of sunshine. They don't eat any food or any.
They don't eat any food. They just don't eat any food. They're not eating food. They're not. It's crazy. All right, so that's crazy. That's bonkers. What's going on there? I want to say thank you to Bionic Bill, Baddest Page, Liquid Ice, Chomp Suey, Cam 3, an anonymous gifter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 and 129 puts us at 135. And also a big thank you to Martin Fillion for gifting a subscription at joinpacman.com. These people are truly beyond parody. I mean, absolutely beyond parody. Haley from Georgia with a super chat. Shower thought, is society more violent and unhinged today because we have stopped historically traditional warfare where men are arbitrarily killing other men rather than Hellfire missiles killing terrorists from afar? I don't know that I'm equipped to answer that, but I think there's probably a guest who we could talk to about that. Let me think about that. That's kind of interesting. It's an interesting idea. Oh, let me mention another thing. Did I mention this before? Yeah, I think I did. We are launching a personal finance channel. And it is by popular demand. We are launching a new YouTube channel. I don't have any link or anything else for you yet. And we are getting dangerously close to being ready to announce specifics. And I will show you a technical element. I have obtained, look at this. This is a Think Vision tablet monitor. This is like a thing. It's a telestrator. So with this, I'm going to be able to draw charts and graphs. And when people call in with their personal finance questions, I'm trying to keep the light reflection out of it. I will be able to draw it. This thing is extraordinary from the reviews I've seen. I haven't even opened it yet. One thing I don't understand, the packaging is in English and Russian. I'm used to getting products in the US where the packaging is all in English and Spanish or English and French. This is the only technical element I've ever had where everything is in English and Russian. And I have quite literally no idea why. If anybody knows why, I'm curious to hear from you. Okay. Christina Bobb is now speaking to the crowd.
So good to see you. So I'm sure a lot of you have been on Truth Social and you're aware that.
All right. Well, I don't know that we're going to do that.
Truth Central.
Yeah. Let's wait on that. So anyway, the new channel is going to be launching soon, and I think it's going to be really great. So Donald Trump will be speaking soon. It looks like they're getting close to something. I don't really know. David, why is it Americans feel as if we're getting more laws and restrictions from the conservative movement when they don't have power in Washington, but will happen when they do get power? Let me think about that. I'm not totally sure about that. Okay, let me mention once and once only, I would absolutely love it if you grabbed a membership on my website, joinpacman.com. In all seriousness, almost everything we do is funded by these memberships. We gladly discount them. These are criminal discounts, okay? One of those discounts is Indict. Another one of the discounts is Obamna. I'll even show you how to do this. You can do monthly or yearly. Yearly, you save more. You can type in your coupon code. Here is Indict. When you do that, look at what happens. That is shocking. I'm not even going to say it out loud because it's just too good. If you want an even bigger discount, you type in Obamna. And then look at that. Okay? We keep 98% of every dollar. All of these other platforms that you might support creators on, be it YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Roblox, Minesweeper, Disc Golf, whatever, they are taking slice after slice after slice. Okay? When you go to our website, 98 cents on the dollar we keep, we're just swiping credit cards. And I will thank every single person who signs up. We have also just upgraded the membership podcast experience. Thanks to your recommendations and your support, we now have like an adult member podcast. Before, everybody was sharing one password. If you can think about something more childish and pathetic, we now have a proper member podcast. You get email notification when the member shows go up. And the bonus show, of course. Got to get the bonus show.
Oh, the bonus show where you want to make money. Right. Everybody else that makes money to fund themselves is bad.
Every member gets their own RSS feed. So there's no sharing any passwords anymore. And you can put it in any podcast app that you like. Of course, if you'd rather watch than listen, you can do that as well. It's arguably the biggest upgrade we've done to the membership program for a very, very long time. So the point here is, I would love for you to sign up today at joinpacman.com. That's where I will leave it. Indict is one coupon code. Obamna is another coupon code. Let's do it. All right. Let's do a couple other voicemails. Just a couple other voicemails. Let's see what we've got.
Hey, David. I'm watching the live stream right now, and you mentioned that Trump is furious with DeSantis because DeSantis isn't going to just say, hey, if Trump wants a nomination, it's his. So what happens if, what do you think is going to happen if it turns out to be Trump versus DeSantis in the primary and maybe a couple other lower tier candidates?
Yeah.
But let's say DeSantis, runs away with the nomination and Trump gets defeated. Do you think there's a chance Trump can go and start like maybe a third party and
God, I hope so. That would be the dream. That guarantees a Democratic blowout. If Trump loses the primary and in a triggered tantrum decides to run third party, he destroys the Republican nominee, and it guarantees that the Democrat wins. So I don't pray, but that's something I could see praying for, because that would be absolutely fantastic. Res Rising says via Super Chat, give me your one-word description of Alex Jones. I would say unhinged is the best single-word description I can think of. Alex Jones, punitive damages, $45 million. Yep, we covered it earlier. Quite a story. Do you think Trump will finally tell us what he thought of the 2020 election? I mean, it's been a few hours since the last time he spoke about it. My prediction, Nick, is that Trump will address the 2020 election in today's speech. Yes, I do think so. I want to say thank you to Uncaged Phoenix, who just made a Twitch Prime subscription. Also want to say thanks to Bridger Lanning and Brett Williams, who just signed up on my website, joinpacman.com, pushes us to 139. And also thank you to Jason Sickmeyer and Juan for gifting 2 more memberships, putting us at 141. Folks, we're almost at 150. Let's I guess listen a little bit to this.
Patriots, and a lot more help is on the way. But I grew up in a small town called Ripon, Wisconsin. Do you guys know Ripon?
Ripon.
Ripon is famous for being the birthplace of the Republican Party. But I'm sorry, I have to make an announcement. It's the birthplace of the old Republican Party. The new Republican Party was born in June of 2015 at Trump Tower in New York City.
Wow.
And we must not go back to the days of old, feckless, cowardly Republicans like Paul Ryan.
Anybody know who this is?
Robin Voss. And George Bush and Dan Crenshaw, vote the rhinos the hell out of office.
The Republican Civil War is good for the left.
First fighters will fight for you each and every day because President Trump taught them how to fight and how to win, and we're not going back.
Okay.
And so without further ado, I want to introduce to you one of the future leaders of the Republican Party.
Oh, no.
My friend, America First Patriot, and candidate for Congress in Ohio's 9th Congressional District, J.R. Majewski.
Oh, I've interviewed this guy. He is completely ignorant about almost everything.
Get out to vote for Tim Michels for governor, Adam Steen for District 63.
Yeah, I interviewed J.R. Majewski. Look at this guy. We'll deal with that in a moment. I want to say thanks to S. Prez for gifting 10 more subscriptions on Twitch, as well as Prospect Leveler, which puts us at 152. Guys, let's go for 200 as we listen to J.R. Majewski.
Oh, my buddies, the Front Row Joes. Love the Front Row Joes. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to give a special thank you to Team Trump and President Trump for all of their hard work, inspiring us to wake up every day and fight for this country. Thank you, Team Trump. And I know President Trump's going to hear us when he gets here. Thank you to all of you for keeping...
When he gets here, he's already half an hour late.
My name is J.R. Majewski, and my pronouns are patriot and ass kicker.
Mexico.
If you don't know me, I'm the guy from Ohio that decided to turn his beautiful lakefront property into the world's largest Trump 2020 banner.
I know that his shirt says Majewski, but all that's visible is the word Jews. It's not exactly what I would be going for, and you would think someone would be like, JR, it looks like your shirt says Jews, and usually when people wear shirts that say Jews, they're not saying something good about the Jews. You know, I mean, it's like, how did a campaign advisor not warn him about that?
Ladies and gentlemen, like the great folks in Wisconsin, Governor Michaels, who's going to take this state back. I'm also proud to say that I grew up in the worst neighborhood in my district. Blue-collar family, Democratic family. And it wasn't until President Trump came down that escalator that my dad called me and said, this dude's going to kick some ass, son.
Yep. When he said the thing about Mexican rapists, I just knew he had upper management written all over him.
I had my Trump shirt printed the next day. Spent my career in the nuclear power industry and worked very, very hard. Started at the bottom and worked my way all up to the top. And I've dealt with some of the most dangerous material known to men, which is spent nuclear fuel. And starting in January.
Oh, I thought he meant Trump's toilet. I think that's some of the most dangerous material on Earth. A crazy idea, says Nexter, but maybe the ThinkPad was slated to be sold in Russia and diverted due to sanctions. That's interesting. Andrew says, congrats on the baby. Love your show, brother. Wish I could offer more. Andrew, thank you for your support. I really appreciate that. I know many of you are noticing this gentleman right here. This gentleman is at most Trump rallies. I know there are questions about who he is and what the deal is, and is he part of Blacks for Trump or whatever. He was indeed at the Anchorage, Alaska rally. I don't really know who he is, but he's at just about every rally. And I don't really know too much else, quite frankly. Folks, I can't thank enough all of the people signing up on my website. Look at these names. Kimberly Locke is a new member. Dan Rapson just signed up. Kaylin Gottman is a new member. Becca King has signed up. Mark Ballard and Chris Wright are new members. Janice Johnson is a new member. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 folks, which we love. That puts us at 159, if my math serves. And then thanks to Samantha Orman, Kevin John, Johnny Minogue, another gifted membership from Kevin John, and Mart Fillion, that's 5, pushes us to 164, as J.R. Majewski just will not stop speaking.
And getting people out of the way, and we're going to have a Congress that's going to do something. And imagine how much is going to get done by President Trump when he has people that are loyal to him. That's right. I'm a fire starter, folks. If you haven't heard about me, check me out. J.R. Majewski, 4congress.com. I'll leave you with all of this.
Please.
As a veteran, I used to wake up every day willing to risk my life for what I thought this country stood for. And I've been fighting every day during this election cycle. And I've woken up every day wondering how much I'm going to have to risk and whether or not it's going to be my life to save my family, my friends, and our country from what it's become.
Anyone know why he would have to risk his life to save his family? What's he talking about? I don't know what he's saying.
You have to be built from steel. You have to be built from steel, a little chubby, to do it. But you got to love this country, and we do. We need your support, every one of you out there. The Trump train is running hot. If you got big shoulders like me, grab a shovel because it needs a lot of coal.
Number of metaphors there.
My primary election was tough. I mentioned my father a minute ago. I'll tell you that. My father passed away right before my primary election. And I won't get emotional up here because Alex just said that politicians don't cry on TV. But my father loved President Trump. My mother loves President Trump. I love President Trump. You love President Trump. And the country loves him. I love all of you in return. God bless you. God bless Wisconsin. And God bless the United States of America. And to my wife at home, I love you dearly, sweetheart.
And God bless the United States.
Yeah. So anyway, check out my interview with him. He really struggled with very simple questions. Very, very simple questions. And he was struggling to answer them. Thanks to Maddened, Betazoid, and Al Topic for the Twitch Prime subscriptions, putting us at 167. Also, thank you to new members on my website, joinpacman.com. Mark Allen, Shane McGuire, Monica Butler, Barbara Carroll, and Jill Mabley. Folks, the ladies are so strongly represented in membership during live streams. It's very interesting. Shows like mine have a male-leaning audience overall, but during the live streams, the ladies just come out of the woodwork with the memberships. They're really coming through, and I appreciate it very, very much. Trump's a half hour late now, so we'll probably only have a couple hours to go until he shows up.
Maybe a few minutes behind. Due to weather, as we know that there is no other, you got it safety first when you're flying, obviously.
Yep. As you can see, extremely dangerous weather there in Waukesha, Wisconsin. They may or may not be able to land. Visibility is almost zero there, and it's very clearly the reason for the delay. Will you be live tomorrow for the reconciliation bill in the Senate? Probably not. Tomorrow, I do have a busy day, but if anything, I will be covering. No, I'm gonna cover the because we got our goal. I'm going to cover the Trump CPAC speech in the evening. All right. Thank you to Manny, AJ4, and Joseph Rader for the Twitch Prime subscriptions. They are trying to land Trump's plane, but as you can see, the weather may really make that difficult in Wisconsin today. Going to be very, very tough. Let's see if we can listen to a couple of other voicemails.
Hey, David. This is Dave in California. Let's say they convict Donald Trump.
Yep.
No judge is going to want to make them do hard time.
Of course.
So this is what his punishment should be. He should never say the election was stolen again. He should say that President Biden was duly elected President of the United States.
Yeah, I don't know that you can compel speech as a punishment. I'm just not sure about that.
Hey, David, this is Max from Connecticut, watching the live stream right now. I was wondering, when they call him President Trump, is that normal or is that election lie delusions to call a former president the
Okay, let me answer this. So there's two different things, and I know that there's people in the audience who are divided about this. So let me explain it to you. When you speak to a president, okay, even if they are former president, they still have the title of Mr. President. Okay? When you are speaking to a president, in general, media outlets would say former President Trump. Okay? So when CNN mentions Obama, for example, they say former President Obama as a general thing. So and this is why people get confused, because people will say, no, but you always refer to a president as president. Yes, that's interpersonally. You would say, Mr. President, right? It's sort of like you still refer to Hillary Clinton as Madam Secretary. That was the highest position that she came to achieve in government. But you don't say Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. You could say former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. So anyway, yeah, that's the deal. It's almost pitiful hearing these political figures at rallies praising Trump as he's running late, when they have to know being late is one of many signs he couldn't care less about these people. Emphasis on almost. Absolutely. Trump doesn't care about these people. You all know that. You know it. I know it. We all know it.
A little off east in the great state, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, you've got Doug Mastriano easily winning his primary, going up in the general. Now, if you want to look at the three of the five swing states that we must win in 2024.
Yep. Okay. So this is what Right Side Broadcasting is doing. On Newsmax, they're talking to Dick Morris. Let's see what kind of stuff he's saying.
Time, my friend. You know, she's a former bartender, so she's sensitive to being proofed.
Hey, she knows what it takes to ask for an ID, right? Maybe she'll bring back a voter ID.
That's right.
Dick, always appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, guys, take a look again. There it is. They're waiting on the president. He'll be there imminently. He's going to talk. He's going to speak. My guess, and again, this is just my guess, I think will have a lot to do with crime. The last time he spoke in D.C., he talked a lot about crime. I think he will. It's something very, very near and dear and heartbreaking for the people of Wisconsin when they lost so many people at that parade when the man, the terror.
Oh my God. Look at what is happening here. It is wild. Absolutely wild. Thanks to Mavis Carroll, Kelly Dot, and Broken Psyche for the Twitch Prime subscriptions, putting us at 178. I think we may hit 200. Chance Alberts and Medi R, as well as Alex Civic, have all just signed up on my website, putting us at 181. And then, thanks to a gifted subscription from Martin Fillion, we are now breaching 182. Let's check out a couple of other clips here from the day. It's just been a crazy day. Here's Ted Cruz apparently at his CPAC book signing with the Trump cheerleaders. I guess they are. Okay, it's sort of weird. Here are people yelling, "I love you, Marjorie," at CPAC. So quite a commotion happening at CPAC there. Oh God, hold on. Here's another video of Herschel Walker, again explaining how he wants to debate.
Senator Warnock, Next Star Media Group, offered to host a debate for us in Savannah on October the 14th in front of the people. Don't be scared. I know you rejected previous offers I made, but please consider this one. This debate is more than fair to you, and it's for the people. It's in your own backyard, Savannah.
Notice that he says the same thing in every one of these videos, and we never know what he's talking about.
We have hometown advantage. It's being hosted by a respected third-party media group with multiple outlets in Georgia. It will be aired statewide on broadcast television in prime time. So everybody will get a chance to watch it. It's a primetime showdown in Savannah. You know I'm in. Come on, Raphael. Let's do this for Georgia.
Yeah. I'm actually going to make a note of this because on Monday, I'm thinking about doing a segment about how weird it is that he's now kind of acting like Warnock's the guy who doesn't want to debate. It's all absolutely bizarre. Very strange. Folks, we just got a 20 community subscription gift on Twitch from Esprez, and Graveborn has gifted 50 memberships on YouTube. That's 70. Okay, let me see if I can do the math. 182 plus 70. You've got 2 and 0. That stays as 2. 8 and 7 is 15. So I know the middle number has to be a 5. And with 1, I've got to carry, what was it? Wait, hold on, 15. Oh, so I'm carrying a 1. So is that 252? I think that's it. Guys, let's go for 300. I think we can do it. Nanner Mom and Counting Amberjacks, as well as Melissa and Poutine, have just signed up via Twitch, putting us at 256. Speaking of Poutine, I have to admit, I've started dabbling in pork products again. No pork loin or anything like that. But the other day, I had a beautiful prosciutto with melon. And I am soon going to be very much inside of Montreal. I predict there may be poutine in my future. It's completely conceivable that there may be poutine in my future. And I know that that's going to come as a shock to a lot of people. A lot of people. Thanks to Brenda Needleman, as well as Navdeep Singh and Denise Rowland, who just signed up on my website, joinpacman.com. Also, Shauna Blackburn and Trevor Davis dropping in 2 subscription gifts, which will be able to give away. If you want a free membership along with everything that comes with it, go to davidpacman.com/free membership. We're going in order, but you can request a free membership at davidpacman.com/free membership. Yes, of course, in Montreal, I'm going to go to Schwartz's Deli. And I will go to St. Viator Bagel. I'm going to be all over the place. All of the good the good Jewish spots. I will be there. Yeah, no, it's going to be very, very solid. Very solid. If Trump runs on a third party, he might attract other Trumpist Republicans to the ticket, further destroying the Republican Party. Oh, I know, John. Trump running third party would be absolutely fantastic. The person you referred to behind Trump is Maurice Simonet, Blacks for Trump founder. He was part of the Nation of Yahweh cult in the 80s, 90s, charged with involvement in 2 murders, but acquitted. Well, allegations are not proof. Let's put it that way. Let's put it that way. The food is fantastic in Montreal. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, thanks to Candy Crow. Candy Crow just signed up at joinpacman.com. A lot of people confused as to what counts here, okay, towards 300. 3 things count towards the 300 number. Actually, 4, okay? Number 1 is you sign up on my website, joinpacman.com. Very easy. joinpacman.com. Second thing that counts is any kind of Twitch subscription, be it Prime, meaning Bezos bucks, or direct. It all counts. 3, YouTube gifted subscriptions. And 4, Patreon pledges count double. So any pledge at patreon.com/David Pakman Show counts as not 1, but 2. Because 2 is twice 1. And that's what I mean when I say they count double. Other super chats. David, sir, this is the best voice of reason I listen to. And get as much poutine as you can in Montreal. Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm not going to go crazy. It's not like I'm going to have poutine daily in Montreal. But it's been a long time since I've had poutine. And I've been to Montreal, it must be 20 times. And we're looking at poutine very strongly and other culinary elements. Very important stuff. We are supposedly moments away from Donald Trump speaking. They've brought out a guy with a huge mustache on Newsmax, which to me says it must be imminent. It must be absolutely imminent that Donald Trump is going to speak. Let's listen.
Well, when you cross President Trump and you try
Do not take on Donald Trump. Don't do it.
I'm just saying, especially when the American people have President Trump's back, as they should have his back,
because he has our back.
That's it. From day one, he did. And remember, they're not coming for him. They're coming for you. And that's all President Trump did, was standing away from that. A couple minutes away before we toss it over to Tudor Dixon and Carrie Lake, who are live at CPAC Dallas, which, by the way, we will continue our coverage tomorrow morning from Dallas. Here we go. Let's take it to speakers.
For a special live broadcast from our friends on the ground at CPAC.
What? Oh my God. Is Trump running so late that they're just showing CPAC at the Trump rally? This is crazy. This is nuts. Ooh, no audio.
And we will ban men.
Hello, Wisconsin. I want y'all to know that President Trump sees you. He sees your beautiful faces. He hears that roaring crowd, and he is so excited to get to y'all in Waukesha, Wisconsin tonight. That is a great look. 2022. President Trump is on his way to you. He cannot wait to see y'all tonight. But before he gets there, we want to bring you some guests live here in Dallas. So without further ado, I would like to bring in the future governor of Arizona, the America First candidate, Miss Carrie Lake. Congratulations, Carrie.
Oh, my goodness. Hello, Wisconsin. How are you doing? I got to tell you, Wisconsin's one of my favorite states. I'm from Iowa. I grew up the youngest of 9 children in Iowa, and my parents were from Wisconsin.
This is completely nuts, in case you can't tell.
I lived in Wisconsin, and I spent a lot of summers in Wisconsin. It's such a beautiful state, and I'm so excited about this amazing race you have coming.
What on earth is Arizona? I mean, that is bizarre. What the hell? They can never just do it normally. Arizona.
A good governor saved us, protected our freedom, and a bad governor locked us up, forced us to get shots we didn't want, masked our children, shut our businesses down, and some governors even shut our churches down. And we know that we can't have that anymore, and that's why it's so important to get out and vote. And we just had an amazing election in Arizona. I'm so proud of what the people of Arizona accomplished, what our campaign accomplished. We have returned the Republican Party to we the people. It's the party of Lincoln, it's the party of Reagan, and of course we know it is the party of Donald J. Trump. Let's hear it for President Trump. And now the Republican Party is the party of we the people. And it's so exciting because people are waking up.
Really generating an electric atmosphere, huh?
They're waking up to the dead-end policies and how they destroy our businesses, hurt our families, and frankly, hurt our health. And so I think it's really exciting that we're welcoming people into the Republican Party right now.
Yeah.
And I believe that we will grow this party into the party that truly does represent all kinds of people. Former Democrats, former independents. If you love America, if you love freedom, if you want to see common sense policies put in place that restore our freedoms and make sure that we have safe streets once again and we have an economy where we can prosper, then you need to join our movement. And it's such an exciting movement. I want to tell you, when President Trump endorsed me, let me see, it was a little over about a year ago.
Okay, anyway, so that's Carrie Lake, and she's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. This is all bizarre. I mean, Trump must be running so late that they're having to run interference. It's all very odd. S. Prez asks, isn't Trump running late to your financial advantage? Well, I guess we'll find out. Wendy says, okay, I got to say something. Trump has never had anyone's back. Ask his daughter. He just threw her under the bus. Ask Rudy. He dropped Rudy like a hot rock. He has never had anyone's back. It's more, Wendy. Trump spent most of his life trying to stay away as a rich New York City dude from the very people that he now depends on for financial support and that he depended on for votes and that he will depend on for votes if he is to run again. So it's actually even worse than that. Thank you to Godspeed and the Thogler for the Twitch Prime subscriptions, putting us at 264. Also, thanks to Ben and Jen Baskerville signing up at joinpacman.com with the coupon code Obamna. New member number 265 today. Appreciate that. S. Prez says Trump is running so late he will be competing with Saturday Night Live. I know, tomorrow night at the rate it's going. Thanks to Royanne Weemers or Weemers. Thank you so much for the subscription at joinpacman.com. Very much appreciate it. Your new member number 266 today. Let's do a couple more voicemails. Yeah, people asking for the voicemails. Let's see what else we have here.
Hey, David. So I'm really concerned. I just arrived at the airport here in Australia, and it looks like it's just a bunch of TI 30XSs. Is that an espresso machine?
Okay, all right.
I gotta go.
Fumbled it a little bit, but I get it. I sort of get it. All right, let's listen to another voicemail.
Hey, David, Mike from Oregon, longtime watcher. So I wanted to ask you a question. I don't know if you've heard the recent debate going on in terms of the end goal for conservatives right now with all the anti-LGBT stuff. Like, what is their ultimate end goal? Destiny, Bunnell Jr. II or whatever, and Vaush have been debating it. Well, not debating it directly, but Destiny's been reacting to Vaush's videos, pretty much shitting all over the concept that conservatives are pushing essentially for a genocide. Because if you break everything down and you think about what is the end goal, what do they want, with all the dehumanizing, calling people groomers, essentially all this stuff, they're taking it to the extreme, and it doesn't seem like there's any stop in sight. And what would the conclusion of that extremity, be? So yeah,
I think it's just to continually have enemies to fundraise on the basis of. Oh, look, Pillow is speaking.
I had some plane problems. I'm stuck here at CPAC, which ain't a bad place to be. It's been awesome here. How about it's getting a little harder for them to cover up the biggest crime in history, isn't it? After what happened now in Arizona, they tried to steal it from Carrie Lake. They stopped the machines in the middle of the night. Does that ring a bell? Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Well, it just shows Carrie's a good reason, or it happened for a reason. It shows you that you can override the algorithms. You can get out and vote in person. Vote in person, everybody. Don't take those mail ballots. Vote in person. Remember, she was 10 points behind by 11 o'clock at night. Then all of a sudden, she's up by 12,000 votes, and they go, shut her down, shut it down. I mean, it's just disgusting what they're doing. The machines have to go. Machines have to go. They have to be gone forever in our country. I'm going to have a summit. I want to tell you all about it. Everybody, you can watch it on Frank's speech on August 20th and 21st. This is going to change our country's history. We're going to have all 50 states there up on stage, people that have worked hard for our country and for our great president, Donald Trump. I want, this is all about communication too. We get through all this. I mean, look at right now with your Truth Social, and you guys should all get on that too. We have to communicate, everybody. We have to get the hope out, the word out. We are winning, and it's so exciting what happened in Arizona. All of the America First candidates, all the President Trump's endorsements, I mean, they've all come true, and it's been absolutely amazing. I wish. With all of you, too, I want to say to not sit there and we all got to be courageous at this time. We're in a perfect time in history, the absolute perfect time where we're going to look back and we're going to say, God's had his hand in all of this.
Right.
Everything had to happen just the way it did.
Right.
Just think if, and by the way, I'm going to tell you how we're getting our country back is the judges. Remember, our great president appointed over 300 judges, 3 Supreme Court judges, and you know what? A year and a half ago, none of them looked at any evidence. None of them did because I believe they had fear. They have families, they have friends, families, grandchildren, and they didn't want to be the first one.
He just does not stop and jumping uncontrollably from one topic to another.
But you think of this. Now the judges have slowed the destruction of our country.
Imagine being in line all day to go to a Trump rally and then they just play a video of Pillow.
The great decision to say these masks are nonsense and these mandates on airplanes changed our course of history. How about the Supreme Court reversing Roe v. Wade? I mean, they got brave. They went out there and were the judges they were appointed to be. We've got so many judges. How about the 100? If you have 100 people in your company, you have to get a shot. That got shoved down by a judge. So judges are looking at things. I want to tell everybody, in Arizona, remember the preliminary injunctions we're doing across the country to get rid of the machines. The first one was Arizona. Who was the plaintiff? Carrie Lake and Mark Fincham. This is what the people want. And that judge in Arizona, he was the first one. He said, you know what? I'm going to look at that.
How many topics has he touched on so far? No segue whatsoever.
Well, he looked at it and he hasn't made his decision yet, but at least he looked at it. I want to tell you about these machines. I'm going to give you a good example that happened over in Georgia.
Terrible machines.
Over in Georgia, on May 24th, there were three Democrats running in a primary. Well, this nice lady and her husband woke up and they had 0 votes in their own precinct. 0. So old crooked Brad Rassenberger had to go, gee, what are we going to do? We should have gave him at least 2.
I like that.
And so they did, what did they do? They looked inside the machines and they found 3,700 and some votes, which made her go from 30.
I opened up that machine and I went eye to eye with it. And I saw pure evil.
On the ballot. And then Rassenberger called it was a programming error with the machines. He won his own race, 38% he was polling at. The next day he gets 51% of the vote. This is the corruption that's going on with these machines. And we are going to get rid of them all. They're going to be gone. But until they're all gone, by getting out and everybody voting on election day, we can override the algorithms and have great candidates get into power because other ones have let us down. Politicians have let us down. Well, I'm going to
quite frenetic
right now. Tudor Dixon, and she's the nominee for the governor of Michigan against you know who, the horrible governor that's there.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wow.
Hello, Wisconsin. I'm so jealous of you right now because I'm here and you get to see President Trump in just a few minutes. That's so exciting.
Excuse me, Tudor. That's a few hours, please. Let's not overstate it. Thanks to The Blah for gifting 5 subscriptions via YouTube. Thanks to Kahaley, as well as Lark and Load and Blurred Cube, as well as Periphery for the Twitch Prime subscriptions, putting us at 275. Folks, we may get to 300 because I also want to say thanks to Claire Light, Robin Dopp, Navdeep Singh, and Sarah Frazier with 4 website memberships at joinpacman.com, a gift from Martin Fillion, as well as another new subscriber named Andrew McEwen, which puts us at 281. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and S. Prez just dumped in another 20 memberships, folks. That puts us at 301. Why don't we go for 350? I mean, it seems almost criminal, but I think we have to do it. You can override the algorithm. Did he just admit Carrie Lake's campaign interfered with the machines? It sounds like it. No, he means by voting. If you vote enough, you can override the machines. That's what he meant. Reminds me of Zoolander bit where they destroy the computer. Yeah, I'm getting ready to destroy some machines. I've got an extra microphone right here that I'm not even using. This thing's not on. It's just a backup in case there was an emergency. I'm thinking of destroying this machine. I don't know.
We're doing a class action lawsuit against all machines.
You know, I think I accidentally broke it, so now I don't even have to destroy it. I'm not sure that Mike Pillow knows what an algorithm is. Oh, he has no idea what it is. There's not even a chance. It isn't fair. It isn't right, Mr. Trump screamed, and then they were upon him. Right? Thanks for the super chat, Ron. Very much appreciate that as well. And thanks to Tanya Skinner for signing up at joinpacman.com. You are new member number 302, putting us within striking distance of an incredible number, 350. All right, let's look at a couple other clips before we get back to that. Let me see what else we've got. Actually, let's refresh to see what new stuff we have here. Trump spokesperson suggests the FBI is covering up the identity of the pipe bomber. I don't think that's true.
Right. And, you know, the real telling thing is
the pipe bomber. They're referring to the January 5th/6th pipe bomber who left pipe bombs at the DNC.
sham unselect committee is very uncurious about this whole so-called pipe bomber as well. I mean, this is one thing that they refuse to talk about because they're hell-bent on stopping my boss, President Donald J. Trump, and our political movement. I mean, just ask Dick Cheney in his awful, creepy, weird final closing argument for his daughter in Wyoming, saying explicitly this is her sole mission, and that's the sham committee's mission. It's not the truth. And if they wanted the truth, they claim this is, you know, the biggest attack and threat to democracy ever. Wouldn't they want to know exactly what was going on with something that, you know, ostensibly would have caused the most...
She sounds completely wasted. I don't know what the hell she is talking about. It is completely bizarre. Let's see what else we've got here. I guess that's kind of it. We're caught up there as far as clips go, which is a very good thing. Wow. Every network unclear how much longer this is going to go on. David McKee says, what does Donald Dump call Ted Cruz's beard? I have no idea. I genuinely have no idea. Yeah. A lot happening here, that's for sure. Thanks to Rachel Dreamer as well as Cinder Soul for the Twitch Prime subscriptions. Appreciate that very much. Also, gifts coming in from Andrew AVR Drums, as well as Lori Catazzoni. That's 3 gifted subscriptions, putting us at 307. And then welcome to Andre Philippe Saint Arnaud, as well as Kyle Gilbert, signing up at joinpacman.com. New members 308 and 309. It's algorithms. Algorithms. Interesting. It's really sad when I agree with anything Dick Cheney or his family say, Where has our country gone? Oh, I saw that clip. Let's actually look at that. That's a good clip. Let me see if I can find it. Dick Cheney, Trump coward. It was basically spot on. Let me see if I can find it here. Yep, check this out. Here's the latest from Dick Cheney. Not a guy I ever imagined I would agree with.
In our nation's 246-year history, there has never been an individual who is a greater threat to our republic than Donald Trump.
True. True.
He tried to steal the last election using lies and violence to keep himself in power after the voters had rejected him.
Absolutely.
He was a coward. A real man wouldn't lie to his supporters. He lost his election, and he lost big.
Big.
I know it, he knows it, and deep down, I think most Republicans know it. Lynn and I are so proud of Liz for standing up for the truth, doing what's right, honoring her oath to the Constitution, when so many in our party are too scared to do so. Liz is fearless. She never backs down from a fight. There is nothing more important she will ever do than lead the effort to make sure Donald Trump is never again near the Oval Office. And she will succeed. I am Dick Cheney. I proudly voted for my daughter. I hope you will too.
I'm Liz Cheney, and I approve this message.
Yeah. Anytime you see a video of Dick Cheney, you sort of need the Imperial March. But he's completely correct. Absolutely and completely correct. He's in his 80s now and has at least stumbled across one accurate statement. That's something. It's at least something. You know, hard to beat that. Okay. Couple other voicemails. Let's see what we got here.
Hey, David, it's Tommy in Wisconsin. You mentioned earlier last week that all these PAC groups are paying Trump's legal bills. Who's paying his water bill if he's flushing his toilet 10 to 15 times?
The taxpayers. The taxpayers, quite frankly.
Hey, David, longtime viewer calling. I'm wondering if you've seen a trend on TikTok where people debate each other. They go on live and they host debates about political views. Abortion, for example, it's a very popular topic. The debates are often crazy, but it's really interesting because you see just the wild things that people believe. So I'm just wondering if you've seen any of that. By the way,
I have
think
not.
Trump is late because they had to clean ketchup off the airplane wall.
That could be the explanation. That could be. Let's see if they're still talking about the weather as the reason Trump's late.
The greatest president this generation has known, and I don't think the shame and fear that the left is peddling is working anymore.
It's not working. And Christina, I remember back in 2008, Hope and Change, Barack Obama, and the way they demonized the American flag and really vilified anybody that had some patriotism. And I remember thinking to myself, one day you're going to look at the American.
What planet are these people living on? John says via Super Chat, David, keep up the good work. Thank you, John. I appreciate that very much. Very, very much. Let's see what else we have from the standpoint of Super Chats.
Hey, David, it's Peter from Texas again. I just had one question for you. Who was the first person you voted for, and why did you vote for them?
I think I voted for my friend Greg for school president in high school was the first one. But in like legal votes 18 plus, who would that have been? I guess it would have been 2002. I guess it would have been the 2004 presidential election, voting for John Kerry, I think. I mean, I probably voted in some local election, but I don't exactly remember. Yeah, that's weird that I don't remember. I guess it didn't make much of an impression on me to some degree.
Hi, David. I was watching the Alex Jones trial clips and enjoying them, and I was fantasizing about Trump being in the same situation.
I know.
Oh, God, that would be so amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, if you put Trump under oath, it would go about as well as it went for Alex Jones. It would be similar in that sense. Let's see what else we have here.
So what I don't get is that when you go to therapy and it's like, oh, well, in the eyes of a therapist, if you're thinking about murdering people and it's like this enjoyable feeling, it's like really, really wrong. But when you're an actual murderer and you murder people and then go through all the correct emotions, it's not sick. And then they're telling people, oh, well, when we have an appropriate vocabulary word for things that we agree on, that like, oh, well, everybody just happens to think about murdering people, or maybe it's normal to think about murdering people in a certain situation, that they're right. So basically what it boils down to is that when God thinks about killing people, he's like laughing or, you know, this is good, this is right, when God murders people or when he tortures people and that kind of stuff. It's like, you know, an enjoyable thing for the Lord. And then when somebody's like human, it's like, no, but you have a body. And so you're like, you know, incapable of actually murdering somebody and like getting away with it. That's sick. That's not sick. When you can think about murdering people and it's like really funny and like an enjoyable thought in your head, then that's sick. So what it really, really boils down to is like these fucking fat white bitches just want to worship black cock.
Okay. And we're done. We are moving on to something different here. Dear God, that took a turn. Oh my God. That came out of nowhere. That completely came out of nowhere from Whitney. Wow. Explosive allegations being made today. That's crazy. I don't know how the conclusion follows from the premises, to be perfectly frank. That's just beyond me. Wow, the chat just went crazy. Chat just went nuts because of that. I'm not following it sequentially. The internal logic of it is beyond me to some degree. Big Daddy says, David, if you reach 400 new members, it'll be so criminal. Roger Stone will defend you in a press conference. Well said. Well said. Have you referred Whitney to the authorities yet? Now might be a good time. Yeah, exactly. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Thanks to Andrew AVR Drums for gifting a subscription, and thanks to Paul Harden for subscribing himself. That puts us at 311. Folks, we are within striking distance of 350 new memberships today. C Missile just signed up on Twitch, which puts us at 312. What an incredible day to have all of you here.
They can't get people to accept their Green New Deal and their crazy globalist policies on their own because they're not good for this nation. They're not good for the American people. So they're trying to do it in a way that's forced compliance, and they're doing it by raising gas prices so that Americans feel that they have to shift to electric.
Oh, she's pulling the whole, they are deliberately making gas more expensive. And now they're deliberately making it cheaper too.
Now, many states have already completed their primaries, and they're just bringing in more patriotic candidates.
You said a word a few moments ago, forced compliance. That's what they want, and that's what they kind of achieved during the lockdowns of 2020 with COVID and the mask mandate.
Yeah, everybody was really complying, guys. That's exactly what was happening. Danny says Whitney's logic is equivalent to that of a derailed train. Please search Twitter, Marjorie Taylor Greene praying CPAC. Oh, yeah. There was this really weird thing. Let me see if I can find it. Marjorie Taylor Greene. There was this. Oh, I'm not finding it. Hold on a second. Where was it? Oh, I'm unable to find it. Yeah, no, I'll look at it for Monday. I'll look at it for Monday. I'm struggling to find it right now. Yeah. I don't know where it is. Okay.
Hey, David. I think that Alex.
Oh, whoa. No, hold on. I can't actually. Legitimately, I'm reading the yeah, I can't play that voicemail. Wow, I just avoided a ban on every platform we're on by reading ahead to the transcription of that voicemail and not playing it. We almost would have just completely gotten shut down, which would not have been good. The sun is literally setting on this crowd. I know it is quite literally setting.
It's important. If this is a painful process for you, most Americans, and you are in need of employment, go work at your county election office and make sure that the elections are secure. I think we're seeing people do that in record numbers in ways that we haven't seen before. It's so important. Thank you to all the patriots out there volunteering at their local elections. And that is going to be what changes this nation.
While we're on thanking people, I'm going to thank our moderators right now over at Right Side. We've got a team of people, Christina, behind this camera. We've got 3 cam ops here that are on the ground here, and it's been a long day here in Wisconsin. Let me tell you, it's hot. A lot of equipment we're moving around. We're on this meteorizer running around trying to get all these shots maintained. So we want to thank our camera operators on the front. We want to thank our guys over at Master Control that are behind the computers, switching the show, putting up the graphics on the bottom of the...
Sounds like they're using machines.
...that are there in these chat rooms to keep the communication flowing and to really, make sure that no one gets out of control and says something inappropriate, because we do promote free speech.
There's some trolls everywhere.
There's some trolls in there, and the trolls don't really bother me as much as the people that just have a lot of hate. But we want to thank our entire team right now. We've had 2 really long events today, and CPAC, Liz Willis, Vanessa Broussard, Alex Caldwell, they have been at CPAC all day and the last 2 days. And then, of course, we've been out here. So it's been a long day, and we just want to thank everybody for really hanging in there and getting us through this. And I think that was a beautiful pre-program that we saw earlier. And it's our pleasure to be able to provide that for Save America, President Donald J. Trump.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's great. And I think the American people love it. And I think they love seeing the crowd, and even though we're slightly delayed a little bit, I think for the most part people are okay with it.
We're slightly delayed.
Close, and they're just kind of enjoying the show. So
Trump's 75 minutes late, and they've been filling by having people at CPAC talk to the crowd.
Donate. We are viewer supported. We've got great patriots like Mike Lindell, but we're very much supported by people like you that have brought us from these very humble beginnings of having.
Well, listen, guys, I'll give you the option. You can either support Right Side Broadcasting, or you can support our programming. You can use the coupon code INDICT, or you can use the coupon code OBAMNA at joinpacman.com. These coupon codes are not unlimited. There could be a run on these coupon codes, and we could run out of them. And so I'm thrilled to see Stephen Gagnon sign up at joinpacman.com and become member 313. I'm thrilled to see our good friend from Tokyo, Kyoko Awaya, gifting a subscription, and Sherry Bailey as well, 2 gifted subscriptions on the website, putting us at 315. And Kyoko sending another gift. Kyoko's great. Kyoko calls into the show, and Kyoko actually, if you missed her last phone call in, Kyoko admitted that despite living in Japan, being Japanese, she believes I am better at making miso soup than she is, which was a pretty controversial but also seminal moment, certainly in my life, to be told that. So that was very, very exciting, and I always appreciate Kyoko's gifted subscriptions. Blueberry says, that was insane. Please have a super chat. Yeah, the Whitney voicemail. It was crazy. David, what do you think about a Donald Trump start time prediction? I propose starting now. 15 minutes seem fair, i.e. 9:30 over under. I tried donating from Twitch, but it seems it didn't go through. All right, yeah, let's do it. Moderators on Twitch, please get a prediction going or a poll. Will the start time be before or after 9:30 p.m. Eastern time? I'm going to get one going on YouTube. When will Trump speech begin? And I will put before 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Before 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Or after 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Okay. And then we can do the same thing over on Twitch. And the question will be the same: before 9:30 p.m. Eastern, after 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And we will start it. Let's see what people think. On YouTube, 92% of you believe that Trump will be later than 9:30 p.m. Eastern. On Twitch, wait, where's my poll? Current poll, here it is. 93% of you believe that it will be after 9:30. Okay, now it's settling down a little bit. But that was some pretty lopsided voting there for a bit. No, on YouTube, 92% of you still believe Trump will be later than 9:30. And on Twitch, about 93% of you. Yeah, so people seem to be pretty sure he's not starting in the next 13 minutes. That may very well be the case. Interesting. He might not start till 11 p.m. Well, I'll be gone in that case. If that's the case, I'll be long gone. All right, so but most of you seem pretty confident this is not starting by 9:30, which is certainly reasonable given the circumstances. I think that's completely and totally reasonable. Let's listen to a couple of other voicemails as they're coming in here.
DDG, DDG, GGD, DGG, GDG.
Okay.
Hi, David and friends. This is Cassandra in beautiful San Diego, and I've been meaning to call. I love your covering the debates and Trump especially. I've never missed one Trump speech because you always have to keep the eye on the, well, not enemies, but you know. Anyway, I've thought about this for a while now. I was going to call. Remember on The Apprentice when Trump always matched at least half of what the sponsor was doing? What a scam. I bet he never came through on any of that son of a gun. I remember he had a trust that the other charities they were putting in it. Well, anyway, I'm rambling on. So I wanted you to think about that. I think that's quite. Plus, one more thing I always think about is remember when Obama was running and Trump was saying about he wasn't born here and all that, that's the truther stuff.
Yep.
I remember he said, well, if he becomes president, it's the biggest con in American history. Can you projection, huh? Projection. So anyway, I'm done rambling. Take care. Love your show. Bye.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. A beautiful phone call. Greg says, David, sir, congratulations on the massive dumps of memberships in both streams today. Yeah, we're actually, let me see here. Christopher Hahn, Justin Gagnon, and Michael Georgiariou have just signed up at joinpacman.com. That puts us at 319. And then thanks to another gift from Kyoko, that puts us at 320. And then thanks to Leslie Hieronymus, we are now at 321. So we have an incredibly ambitious goal of 350. We're within striking distance. We are very, very much within striking distance here. Attendees get to walk back through the mud puddles to get to their cars or look for the missing buses while stranded in the dark. But donate, Obama. Yeah, it's very hard to leave a Trump rally. That's actually true. Remember, this is the same guy who left his own supporters to freeze in the cold dangerously. He's not above completely flaking and never showing up. That's actually interesting. Does anybody in the audience think Trump simply won't show at all? I don't know that that's ever happened, but does anyone think Trump will just not show up? Make Donald Trump again. It seems most of the audience believes Trump is eventually showing up. Oh, a couple people think it'll be a no-show. I think I'm not aware of him bailing on a rally on the day of in this way. I'm just not aware of that. Thanks to Faceplant Kagers for the 5 gifted subscriptions via Twitch, putting us at 326. Let's see what they're rambling about.
For his mindset was very close to the America First agenda, but it was the school board issues. It was a grassroots effort from parents and teachers that the one to push back on this, which pushed him into office. So it's important. Yeah. So to your point, to unpack everything, small people can make a big difference in this world.
Oh, essential.
And I say small in relativity of like your political footprint.
Yeah. No, I think that's absolutely true. And President Trump was essential for Glenn Youngkin to win that race, even though he didn't necessarily come out and directly endorse him. He did.
That's an interesting revisionist bit of history.
We weren't necessarily terribly excited about Glenn Youngkin because he might have been a little bit more establishment, and Donald Trump was very vocal and said, hey, patriots, you've got to get out. You've got to vote for Glenn Youngkin. And he encouraged his MAGA supporters in Virginia to go vote for Glenn Youngkin. And ultimately, obviously, Glenn Youngkin won that election.
Yeah, right. And I was out there last couple rallies there before election night there in Northern Virginia, and it looked very much like a Trump rally. I mean, I'm talking about the bleachers, the signage, the flags, the crowd, the messaging. So, yeah, that was a great play as far as Glenn Youngkin's concerned, to look at the fact that the school board situation was unfolding like it did, and then use that.
Wow. They are completely disconnected from reality.
Hey, David. So I'm watching the Waukesha, Wisconsin Trump, event, and when that guy came on with a jacket and all you could see is Jews on his T-shirt, when he would stand at a certain angle, the podium said "Save America," and it just basically looked like Jews save America.
Indeed. And we did comment on that. It was a bizarre moment. Very, very strange.
Hey, David, this is Sherry Ellison in Delaware. Just wanted you to know that I've been following your live stream for what we were all hoping was Trump getting ready to make a fool out of himself yet another time. And it's disappointing that the only way he does that is by being so unprofessional that he can't even bother to show up on anything like on time. Anyway, just as somebody who used to be a registered Republican, and I mean right up until about 6 months into that guy's presidency, he is such a freaking disappointment. I mean, he's nothing like what I grew up believing Republicans were.
Oh, he has nothing to do with what the old school. I'm not saying it as a way of praising the old Republican Party. I'm not. But there's just very little connection. But there is a direct line. The reactionary, unhinged nature of Trumpist Republicans, it does stem from the previous versions of Republicans. But they are very different. Both can be true. Both can be true.
Hey, David. My name's Dustin. I've been listening to your show for a few years. Absolutely see things like you do, which makes it pretty easy to listen to you. Appreciate everything you do. Been subscribed for years.
Thank you.
My question is, I was talking to my girlfriend recently, and she's more into the social realm, and she was saying how Trump's son had came out on Twitter that he was trans, and they found out and immediately made him pull all of his socials. And
what? Trump's son came out as trans? That I've never heard that. Who are you talking about? I don't even know what that's about. Has anyone ever heard anything like that? Barron, or who are you even talking about? Man, I don't know.
Hey, David, I'm Candy, and I have loved listening to you. But I just have to say, today I don't remember the name of the guy, but it was during your CPAC coverage that you made fun of him for wanting applause, and you did, like, the best impression. It was beautiful. And somebody should clip that.
I think it was the Rick Scott speech. If anybody has a clip, I would definitely check that out.
What's up, David? This is Michael from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. I was simply wondering if you intended to do some fan meetings while you're on eating some poutine. So let us know. Bye-bye.
You know, I would consider doing a fan meetup in Montreal. I would consider that. I'm going to be in Montreal most of the second half of August of 2022. That's this current month for people who are unaware of what month it is. I would consider doing a fan meeting, but one would be like how many people would actually go, because I don't want to, I want it to be worth doing if I'm going to do it. We would need to figure out logistics. And I'm not against it. I'm going to have a bunch of free time. I'm just going to be, for most of the time I'm in Montreal, I'm just going to be hanging. I actually have some family that's moving up there, and I'm going to help with the move, quite frankly. And just hang a little bit. So I would be up for doing that in theory. You know, there's actually another thing. I don't even know that I want to broach this, but there's a Canadian politician who's somewhat well known, who I'm in touch with and who I'm planning to meet up with while I'm there. It might be interesting to do a meet and greet with them as well. But I mean, again, it's like all of these layers of complexity. It's just one after another after another. It starts to get complicated, but I'm up for doing a meetup, but it's sort of beyond me to plan it right now. I guess that's where I am. That's where I am.
Not bad, David. This is Dustin again. Obviously, Trump has a few sons, but I was speaking about Barron.
Yeah, I have not heard that Barron is transgender. I have never, ever, ever heard that.
Hey, David, I definitely think Trump is going to cancel, but it will be interesting to see the endurance.
I think it's already clear he's not, because it looks like Secret Service is already, they just came out. So I don't think Trump's going to cancel. I think the only question remaining is, we're at 326 members right now. Can we get to 350 before Trump speaks? Elizabeth Duran just signed up on my website and put us at 327. Sherry Bailey just signed up on my website and now pushes us to 328. The only question in my mind, is do we get to 350 before Trump speaks? And Mr. G says 300, 400, 500. When is it enough? Well, we're looking for 350. Any thoughts on where Trumpist energy might have been directed if Trump had never won the presidency? I think they just go back to what they were doing before. I don't know what it is, but it's not being involved in politics. Let's see what else we have here. Couple other voicemails.
Hey, David. My wife, Melissa, and I are watching your stream right now. And I just want to say thank you for the years of unhinged Donald Trump content. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Hold on, I'm coming.
Whoa, Trump's getting edgy there. Jeez. Welcome and thank you to you and your wife, Melissa, for watching.
Hey, Dave, I watch your show a lot. I was just wondering, that guy that was on there with the front of his shirt said Jews on it, because of his blazer.
Yep.
He said he worked his way from the bottom of the nuclear power industry to the top.
That was kind of weird.
He looked like he was about 25 years old. I mean,
no, that guy's in his 40s, I think. Let me see. J.R. Majewski. He's 42. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. It was a weird thing for him to say.
How is that even possible? How do people not pick up on the blatant lies?
I think he did work in nuclear power. I don't think that was a lie.
Hi, David. This is Nick from Cincinnati. I remember back when it was your birthday, someone mentioning on the show that you got a shipment of ice cream from Grader's, and I was just wondering what your favorite flavor of Grader's ice cream is.
That's a fair question. It's the black cherry chocolate chip. This is my favorite Grader's ice cream right here. Black cherry chocolate chip. It's an absolutely perfect ice cream. And I know people will come to me and they'll say, sir, with tears in their eyes, they talk to me about Ben and Jerry's Cherry Garcia. I hate to say it. This is not a political statement. We've had Ben Cohen on the show, from Ben and Jerry's, and it's all great, okay? Cherry Garcia can't hold a candle to black cherry chocolate chip from Grater's. I've said it before, and I will say it again. It just is what it is. I want to say thank you to Jordan Burns, Patrick Capel, Carl Rosa for signing up at joinpacman.com, putting us at 331. Folks, we may make it to 350 before Trump speaks. Jason Sickmeyer and John Gray, as well as Laura Lewis, have just gifted 3 subscriptions. That puts us at 334. Let's see what else we've got. Robert Charles has just signed up, and that puts us at 335. And there it is. S. Prez has just dumped in 20 more Twitch memberships, putting us at 355s.
Elements of bathrooms.
There we go. 355s. Let's go for 400. Can it be done? Is it even possible? The kids say it's not. It does look like Trump will be arriving shortly.
On other platforms, you can watch some of the earlier stuff we did, walking around the crowd, talking to the people, asking them why they're there. And we found that a lot of people here today are from different parts of the country. We've got New York City, we got Los Angeles, we got Atlanta.
Imagine traveling to Wisconsin from LA to stand around all day with these fetid Sani cans. Unbelievable.
Adam Steen is on his way over to the riser, so we're going to get to talk to him. I'm really excited.
Folks, S. Prez has just dumped in 50 more Twitch memberships, putting us at 405. Folks, let's go for 450. Is it even criminal? I believe it is. My accountant is at the door. Thanks to Andrew AVR Drums, who pushes us with a gifted membership to 406. They tell me they've never seen these numbers before. And that may well be true. That may well be true, from what I'm understanding. Look at this crowd.
The Speaker of the Assembly, he's the Assemblyman, the representative from the 63rd District in Wisconsin, has been in Wisconsin politics for decades, and it's time for him to go. The whole movement of Toss Voss is an attempt to get him removed from office, and Adam Steen was the gentleman who was willing to put himself out there and say, I'll run against him.
Yeah, it took real courage to do that. Thanks to Skittle Stew for the 5 gifted subscriptions. Although today S. Prez is really the star, Skittle Stew is still the all-time leader. But S. Prez coming in out of nowhere with 100 more gifted subscriptions, putting us at 511 for the day. I believe S. Prez has set Skittle Stew in their sights. I wish I could even see the totals because I'm curious. I can't even find this. I want to see who's actually leading right now. Thanks to Ma Boss as well for the additional gifted subscription. I actually don't know who the leader is. Kenneth Mosley. Also appreciate the subscription on the website, Kenneth. Thank you very, very much. Folks, I believe we have set a record. I think maybe like on an election day, we were in the 600s, but I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. Ever, ever, ever. And who is the leader now? I don't remember. Gifting happening now. I don't even know what's happening. I think I've lost control of the stream. This is a real amateur thing. You don't want to lose control of your own stream. Silent Bang has just gotten a Twitch Prime subscription. Super chats continue coming in. Graveborn has just gifted 50 more subscriptions via YouTube, literally as Donald Trump makes a 2-hour late entrance, putting us at 564. Folks, we are setting the goal at 600. We are setting the goal at 600, and we will see what happens. People are contacting me saying they personally know Skittle Stew and that she is one of the best people in the world. This is incredible. Skittle Stew with endorsements. Literally at the stroke of Trump. That sounds weird. At the stroke of Trump, we get to 564. Folks, let's take it all in and see where we can get. Trump literally 2 hours late.
We stand and say, that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died.
What a mess. What an absolute mess.
He gets off the helicopter. What a difference in physiology of the two, and not to mention the mental status as well. Folks, take a listen. He's approaching the stage. He's going to soak it in a little bit. He's going to take the crowd. They're happy to see him. They're thrilled to see him. They've been waiting. They're excited. Now, let me tell you, you're watching Newsmax right here, right now. Does that look like a man who came to Wisconsin just to support some other candidates for Senate? And
no, I mean, he's 2 hours late. Certainly he doesn't care about them. That's for damn sure. Additional single memberships keep dumping in, and we may indeed get to 600. Donald Trump looking particularly disheveled. Thanks to Patrick Capel and Andrew AVR Drums for the two gifted memberships on my website. Donald Trump is in Wisconsin. This is going to be completely and totally nuts. Completely and totally nuts. Will he explain why he's late? Let me know in the chat.
And I want to say a very big hello to a place called Wisconsin. Has anyone ever heard of it? I think so.
Never.
It's great to be back in this magnificent state with thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots. That's you. 3 months from now, the people of Wisconsin are going to fire your radical Democrat governor, Tony Evers. He's a real beauty. And you're going to send Tim Michels, an incredible success story, Tim Michels to the governor's mansion, and you're going to reelect the amazing Ron Johnson, so respected.
Let's hope not.
Great people. And you got others, you know that. We're going to elect an incredible slate of America First Republicans up and down the ballot, and we are going...
That was the first glitch. I hope people heard it.
What the hell? What was she doing in Taiwan? Oh, she was China's dream. She gave them an excuse. They've been looking for the...
It's actually quite the opposite. I think it made sense for Nancy Pelosi to go to Taiwan. It's actually defiant to China to go to Taiwan, but I don't think this crowd would understand that.
The first movement, exceptional. You probably saw that the Trump-endorsed candidates, Blake Masters easily won nomination for the U.S. Senate in Arizona. Carrie Lake won the nomination for Arizona governor. Tudor Dixon won the nomination for Michigan governor.
Tudor.
John Gibbs, great guy, defeated Rhino Congressman Peter Meijer. Peter Meijer, he spells it.
I've never seen Trump this slurry so right off the bat.
He's not so different, though, because he lost. This week, we're 45 wins and no losses. Is that good? And in Texas, a few weeks ago, 33-0. And plenty of those candidates were not expected to win. Now we're going up and down, looking at these victories with a massive win on Tuesday right here in a place called Wisconsin. There's somebody right over there. Tim, you better win. You're going to win. Tim Michels, he's going to win. He's going to win. I'm also pleased to announce that just today we chose Milwaukee for the 2024 Republican National Convention.
That'll be something, huh?
Just look at a big screen. How do I look from behind?
Looks like his hair is trying to escape.
Not bad. Not terrible. Thank you very much.
This is not a cult. No, if you think this might be a cult, it's definitely not a cult.
No, thank you. You could take the 5 worst presidents in American history and put them together, and they would not have done the damage Joe Biden has done to our country in less than 2 short.
That jobs report today was just so bad, huh?
Administration's amazing success, and we had amazing success. And Joe Biden's breathtaking failure could not be more stark. Let's take a look at some of the facts. Less than 2 years ago, when I was in office, gasoline for cars, $1.87 a gallon.
So it was actually $2.27.
And now it's $5, $6, $7, and even $8 a
Isn't it down dramatically? Let's find the price.
5 cents in a place called California, $8.25, and you're going to be following along.
Yep.
We gave you the largest tax cuts and regulation cuts in American history, even larger than the Reagan tax cuts that once held the record. We broke it by a lot. The radical Democrats now intend to impose the biggest tax hike in American history, the exact opposite of what I did. And they are working feverishly to pile on more regulations at levels never seen before. You're going to have regulations like nobody's ever seen before. Mitch McConnell got taken for a ride by Joe Manchin and the group, and the great people of West Virginia, where I won by like 45 points or something, have been seriously hurt by these political antics. Joe Manchin has totally sold out West Virginia. What he's done to that state is disgraceful. And I told the old broken crow, Mitch McConnell, that this was going to happen. I said, it's going to happen to you, Mitch. It's going to happen to you. Under the Trump administration, we had the greatest economy in the history of the world with no inflation, by the way.
Back in 5.
Biden created the worst inflation in 49 years, minimum 9.1%, but it's much higher than that, and it's going higher. It's costing families nearly $6,000 a year. We created 7 million new jobs, the lowest unemployment. We had the best numbers of any administration ever in our history for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, women, men, young people without college diplomas, without high school diplomas, with PhDs from MIT, Harvard, the Wharton School of Finance. We had everybody covered, everybody covered. We had a record 164 million people working. That's far, far higher than it is today. You know that. We achieved the largest poverty reduction in over 50 years. We lifted 7 million people off food stamps, never happened before. And we lifted 10 million people off of welfare, never happened before. And then we got hit by China with the China virus. And after the pandemic, we handed the radical Democrats the fastest growing economic recovery ever recorded in history, the fastest ever. And they lived off that for a year and a half. Now they've turned that into 2 straight quarters of negative economic growth, also known as a thing called a recession. Let's hope that recession doesn't morph into depression. You know, depression is slightly worse, like by a factor of about 100. And labor force participation is the worst in many, many decades. I rebuilt our military, including our nuclear capability, and hope to God we never have to use it. And the creation of Space Force, first time that's happened since Air Force 79 years ago. They surrendered our strength and our great, great soldiers, what they did in Afghanistan, into the greatest humiliation our country has ever seen. I believe it was the most humiliating period of time. There's never been a humiliation like that for our country. Not the fact that we were leaving, but the way we were leaving. It was a surrender, and there was no reason to surrender. They hadn't killed an American soldier in 18 months. Abdul, don't do it, Abdul. And he didn't do it. 18 months we went, and then we took the military out first. How stupid was that? We created the safest border in U.S. history. We ended catch and release. We deported record numbers of illegal alien gang members. We got them out of our country, and we built hundreds of miles of border wall, brand new, beautiful border wall. In fact, we completely finished our original border wall plan despite 2.5 years of Democrat-inspired lawsuit. They sued us all the time. 2.5 years it took. We won all the lawsuits, and then we completed the wall, and we added much more wall than originally planned and almost got that finished also. Would have been 3 weeks. 3 weeks the job could have been done, but they decided we don't want a wall. We want open borders. Let everybody come in, no matter who they are. Doesn't matter. Our border, just 2 years ago, was the best and safest in U.S. recorded history, and they have turned it into the worst in history by far, maybe for any country, and that includes third world countries. There's never been a country that's allowed people to pour into their country, and it could be the worst managed, the worst countries, third world countries. Nobody's ever had a border like we have. There's never been anything like this. It's a catastrophe. And instead of being proudly energy independent, which we were less than 2 years ago, even energy dominant, the United States is now a beggar for energy. We're begging. Biden and the radical left have turned calm into chaos, competence into incompetence, stability into anarchy, prosperity into poverty, and security into catastrophe. I wonder if Biden could have said that, what I just said, do you think? There would have been an explosion. Then they would have said, oh, he did so well tonight, he did so well. The election was rigged and stolen, and now our country is being systematically destroyed. Last month, the Wisconsin Supreme Court, I give such credit to them, ruled that the widespread use of ballot drop boxes across the state is totally illegal. So you know what that means? That means they were obviously illegal in the 2020 election. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of votes, and we were right there. We won this thing by a lot. We won this state by a lot. Just as I've said all along, the use of these unmanned, unsecured drop boxes was never authorized by the state legislature. By law, it has to be, was never. They never got approval. But no more drop boxes.
All right. So in all seriousness, even I didn't expect Trump to be 2 hours late. So I can stay with you guys until the bottom of the next hour. If you want me to just leave the speech running, I've got to go and deal with, my newborn daughter. I'll gladly just leave the speech running if people want.
We no longer have ballots for Republicans. We only have them. Now think of this. How did they get away with this one? But Carrie Lake and Blake.
People saying it'll be over in 40 minutes. Hell no, it won't be over in 40 minutes.
And how would you like to have that right at the beginning? I'm sorry, we have no longer, we just don't have, I'm sorry, we have no longer any Republican ballots. Democrats come right ahead. And then they say the elections are honest. We are also like a third world country
this
when
never
it comes
happened.
to elections. As the Wisconsin Supreme Court said in its decision, if the right to vote is to have any meaning at all, elections must be conducted according to law. Really great. The drop box scam in Wisconsin and other states, many other states, was in addition to the outrageous stealing of votes from the elderly at Wisconsin's nursing homes. You know, that hundreds of thousands of votes. You know, for years, it was a very, very few people voted from a nursing home. But this year, you had almost 100.
This is also a lie. It's totally untrue.
So much. And you know how they found out about it? The sons and daughters of parents were irate. My father was comatose. My father was very ill. My father didn't vote. Oh, yes, he did. No, my father didn't.
This literally did not happen.
Horrible thing that took place. But fortunately, a gentleman, Justice Michael Gableman, put it very strongly in his report. one of the most highly respected people in your state, Justice Gableman, said rampant fraud and abuse occurred statewide, and he went on to excoriate the election and what happened. Where is Michael? Where is he? Michael, stand up, please.
He excoriated it.
Michael Gableman took great courage.
Which side of the Civil War would Trump have been on?
Didn't have the courage to say what they knew was true. I ran twice, I won twice, did much better the second time than I did the first. Getting millions more votes in 2020 than we got in 2016. I was told that if we got the same number, there's no way we could lose. We got millions and millions more votes. And likewise, getting more votes than any sitting president in the history of our country by far. And now we may just have to do it again, right? We may have to do it again and bring our country back.
Wow. What excitement at that prospect. I love how Trump keeps the rallies fresh and covers new ground at each of them.
Thank you. But first, we have to win a historic victory for the Republican Party. There's some great people in this party. It's going to happen in November. When we retake Congress, among our highest priorities must be to end the nightmare Joe Biden has created on our southern border. Millions and millions and millions of people pouring in unchecked. Nobody knows where they're from. Last week, we had 129 countries represented of people that came into our country illegally. We know nothing about them. We're going to pay a price for many, many years to come.
We must know something if we know the countries they came from, right?
They're pouring across our border. Other countries are emptying out their prisons and sending the worst criminals the world has ever known right into the United States. We're like a dumping ground. They're emptying their jails into our country. They don't want them back. They said, let's get them out. Very expensive to keep them. So they're just dumping them right into the United States. They're coming in all different ways, including in the caravans. Just
Big,
weeks ago, a savage,
dumps.
illegal alien criminal in Pennsylvania, already suspected of 2 prior stabbings, shot an innocent 76-year-old man in the back of the head while the man was out for his morning walk. Earlier this year, a MS-13 gang member, these are the worst of the worst, was sentenced for helping lure a teenage boy to a playground, beating him in the head, and brutally stabbing him 32 times to death. 2 other illegal alien MS-13 gang members in Texas were convicted for raping and murdering a 15-year-old girl in a...
By the way, if they were already convicted, given how slowly the justice system worked, it's completely plausible that the crimes happened while Trump was president. I mean, I just don't know about the individual stories he brings up, but if we're already at a conviction, meaning the trial has ended and the pretrial has, it's completely plausible that that happened while Trump was still in office.
Of ICE and the Border Patrol and the police generally, law enforcement's been incredible in this country. They got to be allowed to do their job. The radical Democrats have turned our country into one giant sanctuary for dangerous criminal aliens. In the Republican Party, we believe our country should be a sanctuary for law-abiding citizens who love America. And if we're going to make America great again, our first task is to make America safe again. No crime. Right here in Milwaukee last year, murders reached an all-time high, and in 2022, homicides are up, listen to this, 38% from 1 year ago. Worst it's ever been. The worst it's ever been. And you can say that about many, almost all, almost every single Democrat-run city in our country. Under a Republican Congress, we should pass emergency funding to hire thousands more police officers, and we will do that.
Trump literally can't get anything right. There have been 38 more homicides in Milwaukee this year. Not 38% more, but it's like, does it even really matter?
Back their respect. They know what to do. We have to allow them to do it. Right? Tim knows. And instead of targeting Republicans, conservatives, Christians, and patriotic parents, the Biden administration should try going in and dismantling the street gangs and vicious criminal cartels that are dominating these Democrat-run cities. And instead of taking guns away from law-abiding Americans, we should try taking them away from the violent felons and career criminals for a change, enforcing existing statutes, they're existing, to get them in jail.
Right.
Stop and frisk. Let's do it again. If you look at countries
Horrifying.
throughout the world, the only ones that don't have a drug problem, and they have none whatsoever, are those that institute the death penalty for drug dealers. Sounds tough, but I'm so tired of setting up blue ribbon committees composed of nice people, wonderful people, and they're not going to be successful in dealing with these savages. You know, when I was in China, I said to President Xi, I got along with him very well, but once COVID came, we did a great deal, actually, with them, trade deal, helped our farmers, our manufacturers.
A great deal,
I
huh?
said to President Xi, maybe naively, do you have a drug problem in China? No. He looked at me like, what a stupid question. No, we don't. The drug problem they have is they send drugs to us. That's our problem. But they stopped doing it, very much so. But I said, President, do you have a drug problem? No, we don't. You don't. I said, wow, that's amazing. What do you attribute that to? Quick trial. I said, what's a quick trial? That means a quick trial. It means exactly what it says, quick trial. And they have the death penalty for drug dealers. So
This is Trump's new thing, talking about killing drug dealers.
to the United States or someplace else where nothing happens to us. If we're going to stop this scourge, and this is a big factor
Scourge.
for the crime in our country, drugs, it's time to get brutally tough on the dealers, traffickers, and narco-terrorist cartels who are stealing millions and millions of lives, killing people in our country. If you want to make our country safe for violent, I'll tell you what, if you want to make it safe for violent criminals,
a
just
glitch.
vote for the radical Democrats, because they're never going to change. If you want to make them safe for your family, your children, and for law-abiding Americans, you must vote for Republicans. You have to do it. You know, the drug dealers, each drug dealer
Here we go.
kills. We're not even talking about destroying and destruction of families and destroying lives. Kills approximately 500 people each.
Think about how idiotic that is. You know, in high school, there was this guy named Chris who would sell pot. He was responsible for 500 murders.
Thousands of people are killed. I believe we lost last year 250,000 people died from illegal drugs coming over our border. And 2 years ago, we had that down to the lowest number in many, many years. We had the wall.
It's like this is the type of thing that doesn't even pass the sniff test, even remotely.
They had no choice, otherwise we would have put tariffs all over the place. They said, we would love to give you the soldiers. We would love to. Free of charge, sir. They were great.
Sir.
They were great. I really like the president. He's a socialist, but that's okay. That doesn't make him a bad person, but we have some real bad ones in this country. But it was amazing, the job we did. Our country doesn't win anymore. We don't win with our military, with education, with trade. We don't win with anything. We just don't win. We're going to start winning again, just like we were 2 years ago.
Globalist.
Right here in Wisconsin, we have some critically important elections coming up, starting with the primaries this Tuesday, August 9th. Got to get out, you got to vote. You have the opportunity to vote for true conservative warriors, starting with the next governor of Wisconsin, Tim Michels.
Trump is the least enthused when he has to talk about the other candidates
And who Tim is.
that he's ostensibly here to support.
Oh, you know, he's a businessman and he'll own something little.
A friend of mine just asked me when I mentioned I was streaming the rally, they were like, what's Trump rallying for? I was like, I don't even know. It doesn't make any sense.
He builds massive tunnels and infrastructures and bidding like on the Lincoln Tunnel in New York. And He bores through earth. He bores through mountains. He's
Now you're
big
boring us
stuff.
right now,
He's one
dude.
of the biggest employers in the state. And this is where he's based. He's all over the world building these big tunnels that go through incredible granite mountains. I say, how the hell? I was with him. I spent more time talking about that than I did, frankly, politics. I said, you got to tell me about the machines that do it. They cost 35 to 40 million each, but they're incredible. He said, they go through it like butter, sir. And I find it I love construction. I'm sorry. I love construction.
Sir.
Sir. He's big. He's big time is the point. This is big stuff. The biggest in the world at what he does. Tim is a tremendously successful builder and runs the largest construction company in your state. He employs more than 8,000 people here. He's a former Army Ranger, most importantly, a proud America First patriot who is with us right from the beginning. He's been with me for a long time. Introduced by a friend of mine, Diane Hendricks. You know who Diane is? You know, I heard about this woman, Diane. This is 6, 7 years ago. And I heard she was a Trump fan. I said, who the hell is she? She owns some stores. I said, oh, big deal. She owns a store. Thousands of them. I said, who is she? How many stores is she?
Trump wouldn't care about an actual single store owner. I mean, he needs a franchise to be interested.
Billions. Well, naturally, because of that, I became extremely friendly with her. And she also happens to be beautiful, by the way. Now, I don't say that anymore. You know, in the old days, I'd say beautiful. Today, I don't say that. I don't even notice that. But she is. She's a great woman.
What?
But she introduced me to Tim. She said, would you do us a favor? We
Tim
need it so
Apple?
badly in the state. The state is getting hit from so many ways. We have this incompetent governor named Evers. You can't call him Evers, I guess. Evers. And we have somebody that's incredible. And, you know, it takes a lot of courage to do what he's doing. It took courage to do what I'm doing, I can tell you.
Right.
Tim, enjoy.
No one's more courageous than me.
But it takes a lot of courage. But he's the real deal. You know, under my administration, Tim served on my infrastructure task force. I can't think of a better guy than that. He's the biggest in the world. He helped us build the Keystone XL pipeline before Biden shut it down. Can you imagine that? And even gave the experts some real help on the border wall, showing them how to do it, how to get it done, because we built hundreds and hundreds of miles, and he was so helpful in explaining what to do and the best way to do it. As your governor, Tim will crack down on violent crime, and he won't play games. He will fight to lower soaring energy costs, create jobs, and guarantee free and fair election. Tim has always, the elections will be free and fair. Tim will always defend your Second Amendment.
I'll be honest, I didn't notice, but I see people chatting. There is something very strange about Trump's hairline tonight.
Lockdown state. You and the governor of Michigan, how about her? The only one she didn't lock down was her husband. It's true. He went boating. He would be boating in the middle of the lake. Nobody else was allowed, but he was boating. Oh, he paid a big price. Can you imagine that night when he came in, when he's front page on every paper, and he says, I'm sorry, darling. Don't you ever do that again.
Very patriotic
You're killing
speech.
me. Tim's opponent in the primary is Rebecca Kleefisch, a career politician and a political insider. I've known her for a long time. She's the hand-picked candidate of the failed establishment, the rhinos, and the Washington swamp, and she's running a campaign of falsehoods and lies. Kleefisch complains about lobbyists, but her husband is one of the biggest lobbyists in a place called Madison. You know Madison. As lieutenant governor, she went to China begging for business from Chinese Communist Party and the disastrous Wisconsin Election Commission. This commission is a disaster, was created on her watch. Most of all, Rebecca Kleefisch does not have what it takes to beat Tony Evers. Tony Evers is close to incompetent, but he's going to win if he runs against Rebecca.
Right.
She already lost to him in 2018. Tim Michaels will win the primary. He'll win it easily. And in November,
I know this is
he's going
super
to...
important, but because someone mentioned this, there is my favorite Trump impersonator right now is this guy I follow on TikTok. Check this out. This guy is very good.
What I can tell you is the monkeypox was started by Joe Biden and Kamala. So Biden goes to a zoo, right? He goes to a zoo. He gets a couple of monkeys and he stabs people with their teeth. And they bite people, and that's how it started. It's infecting a lot of men. Excuse me, shut your mouth. You're nasty. Men are getting it. Mike Pence can tell you why more men are getting it, right, folks? But the monkeypox was started in a zoo. But I can
anyway,
tell you...
I think this guy's really good. Obviously, he doesn't have the look, but the voice is absolutely perfect.
Rains, if it doesn't rain, if you have drought, everything's climate change. You can't miss. They finally got it right. But I'd like to ask Tim to come on up, please, just for a second. Tim.
Is this Tim Apple? No, it's not. Sir.
All right, Wisconsin. The greatest thing that we can do is vote on Tuesday, and that is the path to getting rid of Tony Evers and getting proper...
He'd better praise Trump, or Trump's going to get bored.
We're going to do it together. We are very powerful. This is a great American meeting tonight. Since the founding of our country, people coming together because they're concerned about the direction of the country, because they want to vet candidates. They want to hear what candidates stand for. And I'm telling you, we are going to have election integrity here in Wisconsin. Keep going. Good. Go ahead. I told you earlier, Barbara's...
Did Trump just say to him under his breath, keep going?
I will back the blue. I will get rid of the catch and release DAs. I'll fire them. And we are going to have law and order again in the state of Wisconsin.
If you care about law and order.
And the failing education that's happening here. Tony Evers, I told you hours ago, Tony Evers has been an educrat his entire career. If there's one thing in Wisconsin that should be going well, it's education. He's been a leader in education for 13 years, and education continues to decline, get worse and worse and worse. If he can't do anything good for education, he can't do anything well at all, and that's why we're going to fire him and get proper leadership in the governor's office. I'm honored to be endorsed by President Trump. And boy,
President Donald
I
J.
wish
Trump.
he was president today.
These people are nuts. It's unbelievable.
They love you. They love you.
You know, Mike did me
Tony,
on 60 Minutes.
Joe Biden has made such a mess of things. From the botched Afghanistan withdrawal to Biden inflation today. Tony Evers, weak.
Trump's completely bored.
When Kenosha started burning, he didn't show up for days. I am the kind of leader, I would have been there on the first night, in the first hours, working with law enforcement, working with the National Guard. And those...
Trump's like, who? What's he talking about again?
They weren't going to get away with it. Businesses in Wisconsin will never burn again. So I thank you so much. I thank you so much for coming out tonight. But hey, what else is going on? What else would you rather be doing than be here with the 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump?
I don't know. A lot of things kind of sound better.
Virtue, cycling. Wow, that was a good job. That was very good. Now, he's the real deal. You're getting the real deal. You're getting somebody that's at the top of the line, and you need it to bring your state back. Also here tonight is the next state representative from Wisconsin's 63rd District. And he's very, very important. We just did it in Arizona. We had a House member, let's call him. He's called, he was the boss, and we knocked him out. I think he got like 35 hours. We knocked him out big, and you have a similar problem right here. He was the Speaker of the House in Arizona. You happen to have the Speaker of the House over here. Isn't that interesting? And we had a very good candidate in Arizona, and we have an incredible candidate right here. He's worked on this for a long time. He's just hated to see what was happening. This is not the first time. He's been after this for a long time because he couldn't stand to look at what was happening to your state. Adam Steen is running to defeat your rhino Speaker of the House, Robin Vos. Despite undeniable evidence of rigging and fraud, Speaker Vos has taken no steps to hold the Wisconsin Election Commission accountable, clean up the voter rolls, or right any of the other terrible wrongs that were identified by Justice Gableman. He identified it all. In fact, Vos said, we won't let it happen again. Well, what about 2020? They won't let it happen again. In other words, it was okay to cheat in 2020, but we won't let it happen again. He will let it happen again, but you know that. He even strongly supports unsecured drop boxes. They're totally unsecured. He also wants to have you pay a gas tax and create very expensive toll roads all over your state where you can pay tolls every time you go someplace.
Tolls, yeah.
It would be devastating for low and middle income families, and that's why we need to fire Robin Vos and replace him with Adam Steen. Gotta make sure that happens.
Oh my God.
Very important race. Adam is also endorsed by Representative Janelle Brandtjen, who is a winner. Janelle, stand up, Janelle. She's so incredible. What a great, brave woman she is, because Vos has blocked all of her efforts to secure the state's elections. He just blocks them. A lot of people think he's a Democrat, actually. Adam is a true patriot, on the other hand, devoted to making America great again. So we're joined as well. Adam, I want to just thank you. Where is Adam? Where is Adam? Man, what a job. Thank you, Adam. Look at this family. I don't believe it. That's like from a picture. If I ever need you or anything to promote a hotel, I want to use that family. They're perfect. Put them right on the... Look at this family. Wow. So, Adam, good luck. Good luck. We're with you all the way. I hope you can knock him out. He's been there a long time. He's been there a long time and not done anything. Thank you very much. Enjoy it. We're also joined by the next congressman from Wisconsin's 3rd Congressional District, Derek Van Orden. Where is Derek? Great job, Derek. You are doing fantastically. I'm hearing about it. And he's another one that doesn't stop. He is somebody that will not stop. I hear you're doing fantastically well, so good luck. Close it out. Close it out. We need you in Washington. Thank you, Derek. Great job. Thank you and your family.
Really an electric evening, you can tell.
Again, the primary is this Tuesday, August 9th, so get out and vote for Derek and Tim Michaels and Adam Steen. I also need to ask you to vote for a very good friend of mine and a special man. He's one of the most respected people in the Senate. He has done an incredible job, and he'll take unpopular positions if they're right. His name is Senator Ron Johnson. So
oh, God, no.
Get out and vote for Ron Johnson.
No. Horrible person.
He's
Truly.
tough, he's smart, and he loves your state, and he loves our country. In addition, we're delighted to be joined this evening by some of my friends. Reince Priebus. Where's Reince?
Oh, no.
Took me years and years to learn how to pronounce his name. And he was very instrumental, along with Diane, on bringing the convention to Milwaukee. So, you know, good job. A lot of people wanted that convention. It's going to bring in $250 million, Diane, right? So that's a lot. $250 million's not bad. And Reince, won more races actually than any RNC chairman in history. He's a very good guy and loves your state. Can't keep him away. As well as candidate for Congress in Ohio's 9th congressional district, a man named J.R. Majewski. Do you know who that is?
Whoa.
Quick story. I was in Ohio and I'm giving a little speech in front of about 40,000, smaller crowd, one of our smaller crowds. And I was told that there's somebody named J.R. Majewski.
There's like 3,000 people at this speech.
Actually not a farmer, he's a physicist. I'd say that's a big difference, right? But what the hell? Nobody cared. But he was sort of running, but not really running, but he was trying to make a point because he's got some great points to make. And I introduced him to this massive crowd, J.R. Majewski, and the place went crazy. And he wasn't supposed to be playing in the race much. He was just doing to make a point. But there were 4 other people that were serious politicians in the race.
By the way, I interviewed Majewski. There's no evidence that he's a physicist. He just got a bachelor's degree in science he got a Bachelor of Science in Business and then a master's in management. I don't see any evidence that he's a physicist. That's crazy.
To Ohio once, I said, look at this in
physicist.
In a wheat
Can you
field.
imagine?
The name Trump, the letters were about 60 feet high. I was 30,000 feet up, and I said, look, there's Trump. Who did that? It was J.R. Majewski. Right?
It's like saying I'm a physicist because I have an MBA.
Why everybody thought he was a farmer. That makes sense. I guess that's what happened, right? But we appreciate it, JR, and go win your race. You're going to win. You're going to win. People love this guy. He's great. Another man who's great, and I've known him for a long time. He's tough as hell, but he's got a big, beautiful heart. Sheriff David Clark.
Oof. Horrible sheriff. Horrible.
And his incredible wife. What a couple. What a couple. What a couple and what a sheriff. Thank you very much. Haven't seen him in a couple of years. You look even better than you did 3 years ago. What are you doing? Explain to me what you're doing, please. Thanks a lot. Great, Sheriff. Great job. Thank you. And 2 people that I've slightly mentioned, but I have to have them stand up because Diane Hendricks is a special woman, one of the greatest business people in our country. And yet she's a very modest person, but she's incredible. And I'll tell you what, when she gets on your case, she doesn't stop. That phone can ring 30 times. I'll call her right back. She wants it now, sir. She is tough and she's smart and she loves your state. And she was really responsible, along with Reince and a few others, for getting the big convention here instead of to a lot of other places that wanted it. So if you don't mind, Diane, please stand up.
Crowd doesn't even know which direction to look at this point.
And again, Justice Michael Gableman, for the job that you've done and the incredible strength that you've shown. And you know, Michael is endorsing Steen. How's that working, right? Michael is endorsing Adam, and that's great. He was, put there by Voss to do it in a commission, and he went back and he said, look at all this fraud, and Voss wanted nothing to do with it. It's just a terrible thing. So I want to thank you, Michael, for being here, but I want to thank you much more importantly for the job that you've done. That's an incredible report you put out.
There you go.
It's a very sad report, actually. Very sad. Hundreds of thousands of votes and the fraud and abuse, but we appreciate it. Everybody here appreciates it.
All right, guys, we're going to keep the stream going. I've got to go do baby duty. If Trump's still going when I'm done, I'll be back. Otherwise, it'll just be the stream. And then I will also be back tomorrow for the final day of CPAC. Enjoy, and I will hopefully see y'all later, if not tomorrow.
After what a disaster. The worst trade deal ever made, and replaced it with the USMCA, the best trade deal ever made for our country. A massive win for Wisconsin dairy farmers, and all of those dairy farmers, they like Trump a lot all over the country. But it's a great, and I will tell you, it's Mexico and Canada, you know that, and They want to renegotiate the deal. Isn't that a good feeling? They want to renegotiate. I hope they don't do it, but unfortunately, this administration is already starting to try and renegotiate the deal to make it better for them. They had us for many years in this NAFTA deal. It was horrible. Nobody wanted to renegotiate it then, but now they want to renegotiate. Don't do it. To defend Wisconsin workers, I withdrew from the terrible Trans-Pacific Partnership would have ruined your manufacturing businesses. And I imposed strict tariffs on foreign aluminum and steel, and it saved our steel industry, and it saved our aluminum industry. And now I hear Biden wants to take the tariffs off of China. I took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China. We never got 10 cents. Not one president took in 10 cents from China. I took in hundreds of billions of dollars, and now they want to stop. They want to not charge China. When the left-wing mobs came out to sack the city of Kenosha 2 years ago this month, you remember I was here. I sent the National Guard, and we saved the city from total destruction. They would have destroyed this city. That's why I have a very strong feeling for Kenosha. It was a great success, and the Guard did a fantastic job. And if I had to wait for the governor, forget it. It would have been a long wait. And as part of my administration's colossal rebuilding of the U.S. military, we delivered major contracts for Wisconsin workers to build brand new warships, helping save the historic shipyard, Marinette Marine. You know that, right? And they're beautiful. They're beautiful. They look like yachts with lots of guns on them, actually. No, they're beautiful. Marinette, they're doing a fantastic job, but I gave them the contract. It was like $6 billion. Other people wanted. I said, nope, that's going to Wisconsin. I took a little heat, but it's worked out good because I hear they're doing a great job, right? Are they doing a good job, Tim? We fought for Wisconsin, and we won for Wisconsin, and with a big victory for Republicans this November, we will fight and win for Wisconsin once again and win like never before. One of the first things we'll do is to stand up for parents' rights. Can you believe I have to even say that? Because the Democrats are. Can you believe how stupid does that sound? We're going to stand up for parents' rights. They're standing against parents. Who would think that this would be a part of a platform? We are going to stand up for the parents. It's crazy. What's happening in this world and to our country is just crazy. It's time to finally and completely smash the radical left's corrupt educational cartel. Our children are captives to unhinged Marxist educators. Where do they come from? Who are pushing inappropriate sexual, racial, and political material on our children from the youngest possible age. And the parents are sitting home thinking your children are being beautifully educated, and they're listening to these Marxists and these crazy people. At long last, every parent in America must be empowered to opt out of this indoctrination and send their child to the public, private, charter, religious, or home school of their choice. Have to be able to do it. In addition, we will get critical race theory, a disaster, out of our schools, out of our military. I already took it out of our military, our schools. They put it back immediately, first day in office, and out of every part of our federal, state, and local governments. I had it gone. And when the election results came in, the first thing they did was put it back in. Disgraceful. We did win by a lot. We will also keep men out of women's sports, if that's okay. Can you believe it? No, can you believe it? Men are, you know the stories of the swimmers. Should I tell it? You probably heard it. Should I or not? So we have this young female swimmer, great, really great. She's a champion, and she wants to break the United States record in some kind of an event. And she needed about 1/8 of a second. And she was standing on the line, and she's ready to go. And I tell the story. It's a crazy story. You know, I'm not supposed to be saying, because it's politically incorrect to talk about it. It's politically incorrect. They don't want to talk. They don't want to mention it. I don't understand why it's politically incorrect, but I think that's why I got elected in the first place. But But this beautiful athlete wants to break 1/8 of a second. If she can do that, she's going to be so proud. And you know, she looks down to the left and she sees these beautiful young women that she's been competing with for many years. For 10 years, she knows them all. They sort of grow up, you know, it's that perfect triangle at the top. And she sees them and she looks down to the right and she sees them and she's so happy to see them. And then she looks to her right over here, right next to her, there's this giant person. And she didn't really know who it was. And he was just given the Female Athlete of the Year, by the way. Did you know that? No, think of this. Is our country going to hell or what? Okay. Nothing wrong. Look, I'm sure a very nice person, but he had a wingspan like this. He was giant. She's looking up. She said, oh, my God, he looks like he could be trouble, or she looks like. And it was quite scary, but she figured she's the best, so she's going to win. Well, she was badly injured in that race. You know why? Windburn. He went by her so fast that she got tremendous windburn. She's still trying to recover, actually. And she didn't break the record, but he did. He won by 38 seconds. Not 1/8 of it. She wanted to win by 1/8 of a second. Now, this is really doing harm to the women's movement. This is a ridiculous thing. The best of all, though, is the weightlifter. You heard about the weightlifter. So a woman weightlifter, I think it was 218 pounds, I'm not sure. I got to be careful because the fake news will say it wasn't 218, it was 236. It's terrible. Whatever the hell it was, she wanted to break the record by 1/8 of an ounce on each side. So they have these big, big heavy barbells, and they have on the sides all the weights, right? And they put this little tiny bit here, little tiny bit there. And she went over, she was so proud. And she stood over those weights and she went like this. She was proud. Her mother and father were screaming. They were so proud of their. They said, girl, I'm so proud of my girl, he said. And she got over the weights and she lifted them up. Got him up to here, and then, no, not enough. She couldn't make it. She didn't make it. Just missed. Just very close, actually, but she missed. And then this person in a male's body. That's what you say, because they call it a person in a male's body happened to come up. And they said, have you lifted before? He said, not much. I don't know too much about it. And he stood over the weights. He looked. He wins. He could have lifted another 200 pounds over his head. We are hurting women very badly. I said the other day I would be the greatest coach in the history of women's basketball. I would go to LeBron. I don't like LeBron James at all. I think he's a terrible person. Terrible. But I would go to LeBron James despite my dislike. And I would say, LeBron, have you ever thought of being a woman? Because I'm a coach. And I want you on my team, and I want to get a few other guys, perhaps from the NBA, to be on my team. I would have the greatest team in history. They would never lose. They would win every game by 70, 80, maybe 90 points. It's crazy. What they're doing to women's sports is a disgrace. It's a disgrace. And it's very unfair to a thing called the women's movement, because I'm a big believer in the women's movement, and it's a very unfair thing. So whether it's politically appropriate or not, I'll say it, it's a disgrace what they're doing. How stupid is it? No teacher should ever be allowed to teach transgender to our children without parental consent. What they're doing to your children, essentially behind your back, is crazy. It's hard to believe, when you're up here and you're doing this and you're looking at different notes and you're going, and I mean, who would think that we'd be talking about this, let's say 10 years ago, 6, 7 years ago? Who would ever believe we're even talking about this? When Republicans retake Congress, they also need to crack down hard on Big Pharma for giving puberty blockers and other dangerous drugs to mutilate our youth. Puberty blockers. Do you think we'd be talking about puberty blockers 7, 8, 9 years ago? We will save our kids, and every federal bureaucrat who is complicit in this travesty needs to immediately be fired. You're fired. You got to be fired or worse. Another one of the highest priorities for the Republican Congress will be to stop left-wing censorship and restore free speech in America. We don't have free speech. We don't have it. And by the way, go out now and sign up for Truth Social. We're getting the word out. It's amazing. It's hot, and it's much, much, much better than Twitter. Twitter's suffering greatly lately. Do you notice that? Isn't that too bad? The radical left Democrat Party is not a 50% party within our country. They're against God, guns, oil, law enforcement, voter ID, tax cuts, regulation cuts, the Constitution. They're against our founding fathers. But actually, other than that, they're quite nice, aren't they? The way they win is to cheat in elections. I really believe that. They cheat in elections. They're professionals. If they devoted that genius to fighting for us against foreign countries, we wouldn't be ripped off by every country in the world. Everywhere the Republican Party has the chance, we must pass critical election integrity reforms, including universal voter ID, citizenship confirmation. Can you believe that? We want to prove that you're a citizen. They don't want to allow that. We want to get rid of fake drop boxes. They're a fake. You know, if you're a citizen and you want to contribute to your local congressman or senator, if you as a husband and wife give more than $5,600, they put you in jail. And yet, Zuckerbucks gave 500, I guess, million. 417 they have no idea. But think of it. If you give $200 too much, they put you in jail. This guy gave, they say, $417 million. Zuckerberg. No, but how sick is it? And that money's being spread all over the place. It's a disgrace. And it's focused on Democrat areas. You know, they put a little bit in Republican areas so they could say we did both, but they didn't. It's a disgrace. No private money pouring into local election offices should be allowed. And ultimately, we need same-day voting with only paper ballots. That's what we need. Only paper ballots. So France just had an election. You know, it's a country, big country. 35 million people voted. It was paper ballots, and it was a same-day election. One day, 10 o'clock in the evening, you listen to the results. And my friend Macron won, and a young lady lost, and she wasn't complaining. She lost. But they had paper ballots, and they had same-day voting. And you don't use mail-in ballots except for people that are very sick or military that's very far away. Otherwise, they vote here. And we would have great elections once again, and elections that we could count on. Not elections where Kari Lake is waiting for days and days for the result. We have an election going on in the state of Washington, a congressional election. They think they should have the result over the next few days. Think of it. It's a relatively small number of people, and it's going to be weeks. And they have no idea. And you know, when it takes that long, what's happening behind the scenes? We're just 3 months away from the most important midterm election in American history, and we need a landslide so big that the radical left cannot rig it or steal it. This is the year we're going to take back the House. We're going to take back the Senate. And we're going to take back America. And in 2024, most importantly, we are going to take back our magnificent White House. We're going to take it back. But first, we have to secure a massive victory for Tim Michels in this primary. So go get your friends, go get your family, and go get out to vote. That's going to be a very important election. So, Tim, good luck, right? Go and get them. Together, we will fight for more jobs for Wisconsin families, fair trade for Wisconsin workers, and more Wisconsin factories forging more products stamped with that beautiful phrase, made in the USA. We will shut down Biden's border disaster, reinstitute our strong Remain in Mexico policy, strengthen the patriots of ICE and Border Patrol. We will again end catch and release, one of the dumbest programs ever. We will end chain migration. We will end the visa lottery, and we will clamp down on illegal immigration, just like we did less than 2 years ago when we set record lows on illegal immigration and drugs. We will stop the crime wave in Democrat-run cities. We will give our police the power they need and the respect they deserve. And we will not take immunity protection away from our police. We will restore law and order in America. We will hold China accountable for unleashing the virus upon the world. We will protect innocent life. We will defend our Constitution. We will defend our totally under siege Second Amendment. It's under siege. They want to take your guns away. The bad guys can have guns because they're not giving them up. So the bad guys will have the guns. And we will proudly uphold the Judeo-Christian values and principles of our nation's founder. We will restore patriotic education to our schools, and we will teach our children to love their country, honor our history, and to always respect our great American flag. And in conclusion, our MAGA movement, the greatest movement of all times in this country and in many other countries, no matter where you go, it's the greatest political movement of all time, probably the greatest movement of all time. And you know, the fake news is back there, a lot of them. They never even question me on it. You know, if I say something that's slightly off Diane, they say, oh, that was, they've never questioned. I say it's the greatest political movement of all time in our country and beyond our country too, but in our country, and they never question me, the fake news. Together we are standing up against some of the most menacing forces, entrenched interests, and vicious opponents our people have ever seen. A friend of mine recently said that I was the most persecuted person in the history of our country. So, when I thought about it, I actually felt that he may very well be right. We had a Russia scam that was covered religiously by the media, even though they knew it was fake news. They knew it. They knew it all. It all came out. It turned out to be a concocted fairy tale made up by crooked Hillary Clinton, the Democrats, and a sleazeball writer named Christopher Steele, and a coordinated effort with, of all places, you know who they worked with? Russia. They worked with Russia. Do you believe this? This could only happen to me. Then I had impeachment hoax number 1. Impeachment hoax number 2, and the Mueller investigation resulting in a verdict after 2 years of no collusion. They said Trump didn't collude with Russia. Who has been through anything like this? Seriously. Certainly no politician, and definitely no president. All of this while I was doing so much as president, including creating the most secure border in American history, record tax and regulatory cuts, $1.87 gasoline, no inflation, low interest rates, record growth in real wages, greatest economy in history, rebuilding our entire military, the historic Abraham Accords, bringing peace to the Middle East, Jerusalem, the capital of Israel, and so much more. Now we have the January 6th Unselect Committee of Political Hacks and Thugs. And these are the very same people who perpetrated the lies that I was an agent of Russia, like Shifty Adam Schiff, Watermelon Head, and others who are standing before the same microphones that they have for the last 5 years and doing the exact same thing with January 6th as they did with all the previous assaults on our country and on my family. They assaulted my family. Think of it. Adam Schiff made up, along with Crooked Hillary and others, they made up the Russia hoax. And then I watched Adam Schiff stand at the microphones, so sanctimonious, and say, Donald Trump Jr. should go to jail for what he did with Russia. Now think of that. He made up a story, a fake story, and he's suggesting that my son, a good kid, go to jail on a story that he knows is fake. What do you think about that, Diane? Not good, right? So where does it stop? Where does it end? It probably doesn't, probably not stop, because despite outside dangers, we have great outside dangers with China and Russia. And if we're not careful, we're going to end up in World War III. I can tell you that, because we're not handling anything right. Our biggest threat remains the sick, sinister, and evil people from within our country, the same people that we're talking about. Never forget, everything this corrupt establishment is doing to me is all about preserving their power and control over the American people, you. They want to damage me in any form so I can no longer represent the hardworking citizens of our country. And based on the poll numbers, they're going to have to start doing it, because we're leading everybody, Republicans and Democrats. And so I guess that's their only option. And the fake news media, these people right back there, a lot of them, is totally complicit in what's happening. If I renounce my beliefs, if I agreed to stay silent, if I stayed home, or if I stayed in my basement like Joe Biden did, the persecution would stop immediately. That's what they want me to do, and it would all be very nice. I'd have a very nice life. But I can't do that, and I will not do that, because I love our country and the people of our country. I love them so much. And I'm not doing this for me, because I had a very good and luxurious life before entering the wonderful world of politics. I'm doing this for you, and it's my honor to do it. Because if I don't do it, I believe our nation is doomed to become another Venezuela, or become another Soviet Union, or become a very large-scale version of Cuba, where all is lost and there is no hope whatsoever. No matter how big or powerful the corrupt radicals we are fighting against may be, you must never forget, this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you. Belongs to you. This is your home. This is your heritage. And our American liberty is your God-given right. From Madison till Milwaukee, from Janesville to Green Bay, from Kenosha to right here in Waukesha, we inherit the legacy of Wisconsin patriots who braved incredible dangers to carve out life in a vast and wild but wonderful frontier. We stand on the shoulders of American giants who crossed the oceans, explored the continent, settled the Great Plains, won the Wild West, laid down the railroads, raised up the incredible, beautiful, great skyscrapers, conquered the skies, fought 2 world wars and won, defeated fascism and communism, mastered spaceflight, and made America into the single greatest nation in the history of the world. But now we are a nation in decline. We are a nation that is failing. We are a nation that is hurting so badly. We are a nation that has the highest inflation in over 40 years, and where the stock market just finished the worst first half of the year since 1872. Think of that. Likewise, we are a nation that has the highest energy costs in its history. We are no longer energy independent or energy dominant as we were just 2 short years ago. We are a nation that is begging Venezuela, Saudi Arabia, and many others for oil. Please, please, please help us, Joe Biden says. Yet we have more liquid gold under our feet than any other country in the world. We are a nation that is consumed by the radical left's Green New Deal, yet everyone knows that the Green New Deal will lead to our destruction. We are a nation that surrendered in Afghanistan, leaving behind dead soldiers, American citizens, and $85 billion worth of the finest military equipment anywhere in the world. We are a nation that allowed Russia to devastate a country, Ukraine, killing hundreds of thousands of people, and it will only get worse. It would never have happened with me as your commander-in-chief. And it didn't. It didn't happen. Never happened. And China, with Taiwan, is next. Just watch what's happening. You see it happening before you. How stupid it was that she went. We are a nation that has weaponized its law enforcement like never before against the opposing political party. They send their law enforcement out to get them because they can't beat us at the polls, so let's lock them up. We are a nation that no longer has a free and fair press. Fake news is all you get, and they are the enemy of the people. We are a nation where free speech is no longer allowed, where crime is rampant like never before, where the economy has been collapsing, where more people died of COVID in 2021 than in 2020. We are a nation that is allowing Iran to build a massive nuclear weapon, which they are incredibly being allowed to do right now as we speak, and China to use the trillions and trillions of dollars it has taken from past administrations to build a military to more than rival our own. And just 2 years ago, we had Iran, China, Russia, and North Korea in check. They weren't going to do a thing against the United States. They weren't going to hurt us. Everyone knows that's true. Even the radical left Democrats say it. They weren't going to do a thing against the United States when Trump was president. And perhaps most importantly, we are a nation that is no longer respected or listened to around the world. We are a nation that in many ways has become a joke. And we are a nation that is hostile to liberty, freedom, and faith. We are a nation that allows men to play sports on women's teams and dominate those teams. We are a nation whose airports are a disaster, whose flights never leave on time, and whose passengers are stranded all over our country. We are a nation whose economy is floundering, whose stores are not stocked, whose deliveries are not coming, and whose educational system is ranked at the bottom of every list. But we are not going to let this continue. 2 years ago, we had the greatest country that we've ever had. We were doing better than we had ever done. And soon we will have greatness again. We will have greatness again. It was hardworking patriots like you who built this country. And it is hardworking patriots like you who are going to save our country. We will stand up to the radical left lunatics and rhinos, and we will fight for America like no one has ever fought before. There is no mountain we cannot climb. There is no summit we cannot reach. There is no challenge we cannot meet. There is no victory we cannot have. We will not bend, we will not break, we will not yield, we will never give in, we will never give up, we will never, ever, ever back down. As long as we are confident and united, the tyrants we are fighting do not stand even a little chance. Because we are Americans, and Americans kneel to God and to God alone. My fellow citizens, this incredible journey we are on together has only just begun, and it is time to start talking about greatness for our country again. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious American nation. So with the help of everyone here today and the citizens all across our land, we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Wisconsin. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, folks, there it is, what we waited for. President Trump spends about an hour and 30 minutes or so. Am I right? About an hour and 30 minutes. Talking to the people of Wisconsin, talking to the American people, and talking directly to you, the Newsmax audience, because if you weren't watching it here, you weren't seeing it anywhere on television. You know, what struck me is he did exactly what we thought he may do prior when we were talking about it. Crime was his first talking point, and that came out very, very, very loud applause for that. He probably scored his biggest round of applause when he talked about we will get men out of women's sports. The crowd loved that. They really are jazzed on that. That was an important talking point for them. He brought in a couple of the candidates that are running for various positions, elected offices in the state of Wisconsin, and the ones he's endorsing, and made compelling cases for them. And then he finished with some of the very enthusiastic stuff, the way he usually does, talking about making America great again. And as always, we watch the crowd. You got to wait till the end, because you got to watch the. You know, he didn't do it on stage. He did it on the steps on the way down. He did it when he got to the bottom, a lot of these, a lot of those, and then that, and there he is. I will tell you, I've seen, and I've been to some of these, I've seen almost all of them. There are varying degrees of enthusiasm. This time, a lot of enthusiasm. He had a lot of energy. You know, again, he had to wait. The plane was delayed because of weather. He had to wait. He finally made it up to the stage, and boy, he really brought it. Excited crowd. All right, let's bring back Amy Tarkanian, Jessie Jane Duff, and Bruce Lavelle for some final thoughts. We have a little bit of time here. Bruce, you know, you've been there. You've seen it. You've been on the inside there. What was your assessment of the president? Was he, as I said, very enthusiastic? Maybe as enthusiastic we've seen him since he left office?
Yeah, well, you know, it reminds me one time in 2015, we were landing to an event off this Trump Force One, which, by the way, he's getting a new one built. And he was running off the plane, and I watched Corey Lewandowski. And I'm telling you, Corey's a pretty fit guy. He was literally running, chasing after this, at that time, the 71-year-old man with this energy level, which tonight shows exactly what I saw back in 2015 at 74 years old. But, you know, Eric, this is exactly what the American people need. And real quick, you know, one of the things that's very important is the public safety. And he knows being a developer and being successful in hotels and all types of real estate ventures, there is no prosperity and economic development without public safety. So he understands the dire need, and he resonated that message very well tonight.
Yeah, and Amy, you know, a lot of people have said, you know, throughout this whole year and a half, it's time for him to start looking forward instead of backwards at 2020. It felt like he did that tonight. This was the first one where he really focused on what he had planned going forward. He spent a little bit of time on 2020, but very, very little, probably less than I've seen in all the all the rallies since he left office. Your thoughts?
Right, and I thought he looked refreshed, and he actually looked younger to me. So combined with his energy, you know, that's pretty incredible. So yes, I actually liked the way that the speech was formatted. I thought it was wonderful that he did a quick reminder of where we once were, and then actually hit a depressing memory, you know, down memory lane with the short time Joe Biden has been president, and then finished off strong and positive. And, you know, America first. And I think it hit the nail on the head with pretty much every topic.
Mm-hmm. Jessie, about a minute or so, maybe just under a minute. Tell us, we saw military and law enforcement hat tip to them. Also, another very popular talking point.
Yes, people were pretty upset to watch 13 service members get killed in Afghanistan in that debacle of a withdrawal. It demonstrated right out of the gate that Joe Biden had only been in office in, 7 months at that point, was an incompetent commander-in-chief. I love how President Trump tied in CRT and all of these other cultural issues, how he had pulled him out of the military, and Joe Biden put him right back in. But there was one key point made at the very beginning that stuck out to me, that the Wisconsin Supreme Court had ruled that the drop boxes were actually illegal because they had not gone through the state legislature. And he made a very valid point. That means they were illegal in 2020. And yet every time you pick up an article that's written by a slightly left or a left-wing media outlet, they continue to say Trump repeats the lie that the election was stolen. Trump has these unfounded comments that the election was stolen. Yet the evidence is right there on so many levels that the election was corrupted, and President Trump continually points it out, but they don't want to repeat that. And that's what was critical in this last election. People turned out in Arizona because they were so fired up. They came out with the highest number in this midterm election cycle than we have seen.
Guys,
historic
I
levels.
ran out of time. I love having you on. Jesse, I love having you on. Jessie Jane Duff, Amy Tarkanian, Bruce Lavelle. Say thank you to all the guests who joined us tonight prior to the speech in Waukesha, Wisconsin. Again, a very, very important state for the presidential run as well as the 2022. Newsmax, again, the only channel bringing you live and full coverage. We thank you for being here. Make sure you catch me on weeknights on The Balance right here, 8 p.m. Eastern, and again at midnight Eastern. We wish every single one of you a very blessed and safe weekend. Again, Waukesha, Wisconsin. Great night. President Trump stole the show. Have a great night, everyone. Have a great weekend.
All right, a culture so mortified of offending LGBTQ that it refuses to protect kids. Let's check it out. All right, welcome to Rob Schmidt tonight. As a society, we have devolved to the point where we are so horrified of potentially offending certain groups that we suffer horrible consequences in turn. Plenty of examples of that. For years, liberals have refused to really talk about inner city crime because they're horrified to address a racial issue. It's just easier to let thousands of young, mostly black men die every single year than address the problem. Fixing the problem would require an uncomfortable conversation that white liberals are afraid would be found to be offensive. We are so paralyzed with fear of offending other cultures that we make your 80-year-old grandmother get a full-body pat down at the airport. Also, we can say that we have a random screening process, which of course makes us less safe, but shrouds us in the comfort of political correctness. And more recently, woke society has demanded that protecting the very sensitive LGBTQ community trumps the safety of our children. And there are examples of this all over the place. Monkeypox is the new hot pandemic the media loves to over-exaggerate. It is now a public health emergency in every left-wing state, basically, and also nationwide, thanks to Joe Biden's ridiculous and woke health officials. It's pretty bizarre, as it's only infected 7,000 Americans and not killed one single person, but it's a public health emergency. So monkeypox is nowhere near highly transmissible. We know that, right? The numbers prove it right there. In fact, it's quite difficult to catch if it's only got 7,000 in all these months. And the actual facts indicate that sexual orgies are actually the prime culprit of catching this disease. According to Reuters, in Spain, Madrid authorities are working on tracing the cases mainly from a single outbreak in a sauna. The word sauna used in Spain to describe establishments popular with gay men who are looking for sex. According to NBC News, the leading theory to explain the spread of the disease was sexual transmission among gay and bisexual men at two different raves that were held in Spain and Belgium. Now, as we followed this story over the months, the cause of monkeypox became exceedingly clear. You can see it right there. But then we started hearing about kids getting monkeypox. And most normal people, when they heard that story, became very concerned. They thought, oh, I thought this was spread by close sexual contact, mostly at sex parties. How are children getting monkeypox? And as soon as society got to that point where that question arose, the conversation was ended forcefully by being labeled as a bigoted conversation. Watch here as CDC Director Rochelle Walensky, utterly terrified to answer a question about kids and monkeypox. Listen to the wording that she uses here. She's so nervous about it, you would think she was walking through a field of landmines.
Both of those children are traced back to individuals who come from the men who have sex with men community, the gay men community. And so when we have seen those cases in children, they have generally been what I call adjacent to the community most at risk.
Adjacent. And the men-on-men having sex community, which is a new one by me. A disease is almost exclusively spread by group sex, shows up in little kids, and Rochelle Walensky, citing no actual evidence whatsoever, is not concerned about it at all and says it's just adjacent to the community. The CDC later would force that up by putting out this statement. Monkeypox spreads through close skin-to-skin contact, which in the case of children could include holding, cuddling, feeding, as well as through shared towels, bedding, cups, and utensils. Maybe that's true, but again, it's this weird new pandemic that only has 7,000 cases in several months. But for some reason in kids, it's just so easily spread by you just touch a kid, pat them on the back, and they get monkeypox. How sure are we that monkeypox is that easily transmissible to kids? How can we be sure what happened to the children who have monkeypox? Well, we certainly can't investigate it. We know that. That is not politically correct. You cannot investigate this. We've learned that. More examples of society's chaotic new order. Almost overnight, it's become expected that you allow biological men with breast implants dance naked in front of your small children. It is part of pride. Never question this. Look at this video from San Francisco right here. These are fully nude men riding around on bikes, completely naked, riding around in circles in front of little kids. Look on the right here when it pans back over. Look at the little girl. Does she look like she's having fun? If you have a problem with this, you're a bigot. We know that. Another new standard, women are not allowed to be angry when a biological man eviscerates them in a competition. And so the vast majority of young girls in sports have to secretly complain about our nation's latest embarrassment while nodding and approving publicly, putting the rainbow flags on all their Instagram posts every June, an emotionally vacant nod to the culture police. In locker rooms, women are now expected to be comfortable seeing a penis on occasion. In Los Angeles last year, women in a female spa, in a female area of a spa, were horrified